Iwagakure bastards, give me the wine, or I will cut you off. Yu held Chusui in his hand, drunk on his face, and shouted at the people of Iwagakure. The people of Iwagakure who were about to say a few ruthless words before fighting Yu to death were immediately stunned. Huang Tu looked at Yu with his drunken face and blurred eyes, and the corners of his mouth twitched fiercely. There are 10,000 swear words in my heart, and I don't know how to say it. They, but are ready to die in battle, they are going to fight this monster. As a result, the monster was drunk and cut down the natural barrier around Iwagakure, and came after Iwagakure. The first sentence of the opening was to ask for wine? Hu ta ta, Huang Tu took 2 deep breaths and walked towards Yu. Master Lois. That's a monster, Lord Lois. Be careful, Lord Lois. Everyone in Iwagakure panicked when they saw the Lois walking towards Yu. Don't look at the monster being drunk, but everyone at Iwagakure has seen it. The monster beheaded thousands of ninjas after drinking them. After that, he severely injured Master Tsuchikage and 5 Tails. If Lord Lois walked in front of that monster, and that monster got into trouble, 10 Lord Lois would also be chopped into mud. Huang Tu ignored the yells of the people behind Iwagakure, with a face of unparalleled determination, and took some heavy steps towards Yu. This is his responsibility. Guru. After walking not far in front of Yu, Huang Tu swallowed fiercely for a moment when he faced Yu, his eyes evasive. This person, even if he stood there drunk and dangling, he looked like an extremely sharp knife. It seems to be able to chop everything in front of me. Huang Tu only feels, as if a sword is hanging on his head, it will fall at any time, cutting himself into pieces. As this, Chimu Yu? The lowest complexion was pale. Just standing in front of Chimu Yu, his heart panicked. It seemed that there was a sword hanging over his head, and it would fall at any time. Moreover, there is nowhere to hide. Huang Tu did not fight Yu head-on in this war, but Huang Tu knew that if he confronted this monster, he might not be able to make a single move, and he would be slashed by his sword. After all, this monster is a comatose terrifying figure who cut down his father, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki. And if it weren't for his father's idea and hid under 5 Tails, I'm afraid he wouldn't even have the chance to collect the body. Because his father would be cut to pieces in that violent slash. Chimu Yu, our Daming Mansion of the Land has already mediated with your Fireland Daming Mansion. Presumably you have already received Konoha's order, right? He stabilized his mind. Huang Tu looked at Yu who was drunk and said in a deep voice. Swish. Under Huang Tu's unbelievable gaze, a black afterimage flickered, slamming toward him fiercely. Slap. A loud voice sounded. His, ah. Huang Tu only felt a burst of pain deep in his bone marrow, and then screamed uncontrollably. Slap, slap, slap. The scabbard in Yu's hand, covered with the terrifying armament haki, turned into afterimages, and was drawn on the Lois body severely. The Lois that didn't react was directly stunned. I can only lie on the ground, holding my head, protecting my vitals, and then screaming constantly. Looking at the Lois that Chimu Yu was pumping and lying on the ground, holding his head screaming. The people behind Iwagakure looked stupid directly. The appearance of Huang Tu reminded them of the scene where an ordinary ninja school student was violently beaten on the ground by a school boss in the ninja school. Master Lois? Let go of Lord Lois. Damn it, guy. Everyone in Iwagakure reacted and spoke. But the voices they made were too small, like the screams of sparrows, without any confidence. Yu's ears moved, and stopped the whip of his hand, his eyes narrowed, and he looked at everyone in Iwagakure. The people of Iwagakure suddenly turned pale, and quickly looked around, acting as if it had nothing to do with them. Anyway, it seemed that Chimu Yu didn't mean to kill Lord Lois. Then they don't have to wade in this muddy water. Lord Lois suffered some skin and flesh pains, so he also dedicated to Iwagakure. Look at the screams from Lord Lois, that is really tears of hearers. Their strength is not as good as Lord Lois. If they go up, it is estimated that the bones will be broken. Let Lord Lois continue to make greater contributions to Iwagakure. Huang Tu lay on the ground holding his head and took a few breaths. He felt that there was no good meat anywhere on his body, and there was a burst of sharp pain, which made him grin with pain when he breathed. At the same time, my heart was extremely sad and angry. Chimu Yu. It's too much, too cruel. He has never seen such an unruly person. At any rate, he is also an important person to negotiate on behalf of Yan Hidden Village. When Lois walked safely to the opposite side of Chimu Yu, there was no harm. He thought Yu Saiga was willing to negotiate with Iwagakure. The result? As soon as he spoke his words, he was directly beaten up by a violent meal. He didn't even give him a chance to beg for mercy, and directly beat him up. Lie helplessly on the ground, letting Chimu Yu beat him. Which bastard are you? So much nonsense. Yu shook his wrist, looked at the guy who was lying on the ground, howling, and asked with a little drunkenness. Huang Tu's painful expression suddenly stiffened. Then, greater grief and anger appeared on his face. Co-author. You beat yourself so badly that you don't even know who you are. Iwagakure. There was originally a natural barrier on the periphery here. At this moment, there are broken boulders and fragments of mountain peaks everywhere. A series of pitch-black cracks, like wounds on the earth. All those natural barriers have disappeared. Iwagakure, the entrance of the village. Which bastard are you? The Lois was lying on the ground, covered in dust, and there were traces of lacquer black on his body. These marks seemed to penetrate deep into his skin, making it extremely painful. But at this moment, Huang Tu didn't seem to feel the pain, but was full of grief and anger. He was beaten so badly by Chimu Yu that Chimu Yu didn't even know who he was. You don't even know yourself, you just said a word, you beat yourself so badly? This intense grief and anger made Huang Tu seem to have lost his mind, and he must raise his head and scold him. Then, Huang Tu barely raised his head, his face full of grief and anger, and then he saw Chimu Yu's narrowed eyes and the dazzling blade in his hand. Suddenly, it seemed as if a basin of cold water was poured on his head, making the Lois wake up instantly. I am the son of 3rd Tsuchikage, Iwagakure Jonin Lois. Huang Tu replied very sincerely. Yellow Earth. The son of the old bastard Onoki? Where's the old bastard? Yu narrowed his eyes and asked. Huang Tu didn't speak anymore. The news that his father, Tsuchikage, is still in a coma is absolutely confidential. If it is revealed, Iwagakure will be at a disadvantage. This is a secret that can never be said. Swish, swish, swish. Flap. Pop. Pop. The jet black scabbard turned into afterimages, and slammed it away from Lois's body. Wow. Huang Tu screamed, and the pain deep into his bone marrow made his whole body tremble. This brutal scene caused everyone in Iwagakure to shudder, and couldn't bear to look at the violently beaten Lois. I said. Finally, Huang Tu couldn't bear this kind of pain, so he raised his hand and said sincerely. My father, are still in a coma. Huang Tuxin glanced at the scabbard in Yu's hand with lingering fear, his face full of pain. This bastard is so cruel. A word is wrong, it just comes up to smoke. A posture of beating himself to death. Huang Tu felt that if he took a step slower, he would be beaten to death by this monster. It's okay to say no earlier, Yu grinned. That old bastard Onoki, as Tsuchikage, should have a lot of good bars? Yu shook his neck and asked. Yes, there are quite a few. Lois is very cooperative at the moment, said. Very well, go, bring me all of your good wines from Iwagakure. If you dare to hide a drop privately, I'll cut you all down. Yu frosted Chusui, grinning. When Huang Tu heard Yu's words, the corners of his mouth twitched fiercely. Although these words make the Lois feel particularly unharmonious and weird. But Huang Tu knows that this monster is serious. If Iwagakure can't hand over the wine that pleases this monster, he will surely cut it flat. Look at the broken ground outside Iwagakure, right? If this monster really wanted to, no one in Iwagakure could stop this monster when his father was in a coma. Swish. 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 At this moment, several figures appeared beside Yu. Tsunade Heim? Konoha shines yellow? Huang Tu's eyes widened, and when he saw the few people who appeared, he suddenly had an urge to cry. A few normal people finally arrived. How could it be like this monster? As long as there is a word of troops, they will beat themselves violently. With such a monster, Huang Tu felt that he was going to collapse. Tsunade, Minato and others, looking at Huang Tu's sad eyes with surprise, his cheeks twitched. They are familiar with this look. At the beginning, Four Tails Jinchuriki was Old Z, but he was also an ironclad man. Then, less than half an hour after Yu took the shot, he was like a grandson and practiced the firework skills with Four Tails. When Lao Zi walked out of the prison, he had the same look when he saw them. No, it's Yu. Minato and Lu Ju glanced at each other, and the corners of their mouth twitched. At the same time, I'm very careful not to annoy the drunk Yu. Take a look at the look of Four Tails Old Purple and Lois. I believe that after returning to Konoha, Konoha's torture captain asked Yu to be his teacher. It's so cruel. A son of Tsuchikage can regard them as a savior. It is conceivable how cruel Yu is to start. Hime Tsunade, cough, Tsunade-sama, did Konoha give an order to negotiate a truce? As soon as Huang-tu was about to stand up, he suddenly narrowed his eyes when he saw Yu Yu's eyes. He coughed and asked from his heart. Konoha has issued a truce. Tsunade looked at the lowest that looked like a frightened bird at the moment, and said lightly. Then, why didn't Konoha stop the attack? Huang-tu bit his scalp and asked the doubts in his heart. You said this. Tsunade pointed behind him, where it was deserted. Yes, yes. Huang-tu nodded and said. Yu Yu feels that the surrounding rocks and mountains are too annoying. Tsunade said lightly. Tsunade made an understatement, and Huang-tu's entire face was suddenly drawn. This monster is really cruel. Just because you think those boulders and peaks are not pleasing to the eye, you cut them all down. At this time, the lowest felt that he had not been killed by Chimu Yu just now, and he was considered to have accumulated virtues from his ancestors. Okay. Stop talking nonsense, go. Let your people move out all the good wine for me. If you miss a bottle of good wine, be careful I chop up you all. Yu Yu pointed to the Lois and Rock Shinobi behind him, and said drunkenly. Mickey, does Konoha have any other requirements? After Huang-tu saw Yu talking, Tsunade, Minato and others didn't have the slightest desire to speak, and they were immediately stunned. Outside Iwagakure. Konoha, are there any other requests? Lois is a little confused. They are Iwagakure, but they are ready to pay a big price. In the several wars of the ninja world in history, the defeated party had to pay a very large amount of resources in addition to bearing its own war losses. These resources generally include materials for making detonating charms, medicinal materials for curing ninja injuries, minerals for making kunai, shuriken and other ninja utensils, and large sums of money. These are the core and necessary resources of Shinobu Village. For example, Rain Shinobi Village was defeated by Konoha, Rock Shinobi and Sand Shinobi during the Second Ninja War. In addition to enduring the cruelty of the war itself, he also paid a huge amount of resources to the three ninja villages. Up to now, Rain Shinobi Village is in ruins and has not recovered to the level before the Second Ninja World War. In this war, Iwagakure can be said to have gained an unprecedented fiasco. They all reached the point where they had to let the Da Ming Mansion of the Land intervene and mediate with the Da Ming Mansion of the Fire Nation. Saying mediation is actually surrendering to Konoha. The war developed to this point. Even if Konoha Lion opened his mouth, Iwagakure had to swallow the bitter fruit. And, take a look at the horror scenes around Iwagakure. The natural barrier that has existed for countless years has been cut flat by Chimu Yu. This seems to be saying, what if you don't agree to Konoha's request? Iwagakure cut it for you. As a result, is it all you need to pay for good wine? Although for Iwagakure, which is located in the mountains, the grain for brewing good wine is very rare. But without wine, you won't die. Seeing Huang-tu's stunned and suspicious expression of life, Minato and others looked at each other, and the corners of their mouth twitched. Konoha didn't ask for it. How is it possible? Several of them have seen the scrolls sent by the elders. The above requirements can be said to be a big mouth from the lion. For example, the Nara family, the Akamichi family, and the Yamanaka family. These three clans are big clans that have existed since the Sengoku period. Moreover, the Nara clan is in the pharmaceutical business, while the Akamichi clan, Konoha's Bingliang pill, are basically produced by the Akamichi clan. These two items can be said to be profiteering business. And the accumulation of these three tribes over the centuries is not enough even the fraction proposed by the Konoha elders. It can be said that the Konoha elders can't wait to peel Iwagakure cramps. It's just that Yu didn't even see those requirements, so he tore it straight away. Huang-tu looked at the expressions of Minato and others, and suddenly realized. This is Konoha's request, it is clearly Chimu Yu's request alone. Those wines will definitely go into Chimu Yu's pockets. Lois is also unheard of. Pop. What are you doing in a daze? Go get me a drink. While Huang-tu and Minato were looking at each other, Yu, who was waiting impatiently, picked up the scabbard in his hand and drew them at them. Hi. Huang-tu grinned, sucking in a cold breath. His eyes were full of fear. Chimu Yu, it's so cruel. If you don't agree, just take things and smoke people. And even his own people smoke. I'm going to move the wine. Lois did not dare to say a word of nonsense at all. Because as long as he said a word of nonsense, the scabbard would be drawn fiercely on him. Hurry up and let Konoha's ninjas follow along to carry the wine. If there is a missing box, hum. Yu looked at Minato and the others and snorted coldly. Don't worry. Minato was shocked at this moment, and a sharp color flashed in his eyes. Finally, at this moment, whoever gets the most alcohol can get Yu's personal guidance. For this prize, Minato can be said to be determined to win. Minato checked the ninja bag carefully, his face serious. The movement in his hand kept moving, and the three-pointed bitterness was imprinted with the seal of Flying Thunder God technique. Once you enter Iwagakure, it is definitely an unprecedented war. Yes, this is war. A war to fight for Yuyu's promise. Lu Ju, Ding Zuo, Hai Yi and others saw that their friends were so serious, even more careful than they were on the battlefield, and their cheeks twitched. But Lu Ju and the others did not feel exaggerated. Look at the Konoha Jonin around, their eyes are red and purple. Had it not been for the fact that the family of the three of them didn't need aggressive ninjutsu, I'm afraid they would be crazy. After all, as long as you learn a little bit of UYU, it is likely to change their lives. Master Lois, are you okay? What did Konoha's people say? Did the lion speak loudly? Huang Tu returned to Rock Shinobi's team, and Rock Shinobi's Jonin expressed concern. Listening to the concern of Rock Shinobi, Huang Tu's cheeks twitched, and there was an urge to curse. When he was violently beaten by UYU just now, these guys were hiding far away. Call. Huang Tu took a few deep breaths, only to feel the pain all over his body. He knows, and he can't blame everyone. It is true that Chimu Uyu is too cruel. It's like this. Huang Tu calmed his mind, did not dare to pause, and quickly said Yuyu's request. The speed of speaking was staggering, and the Rock Shinobi were dumbfounded. Because Lois itself is usually a relatively dull person, the speed of speech can be said to be very slow. But at this moment, the speed of Huang Tu's speech is extremely fast, faster than that of the octopus bastard in Cloud Shinobi Village. After Huang Tu quickly finished, seeing the dull expressions of everyone, he also understood. Huang Tu's heart is a little desolate. Does he dare to be unhappy? If you make that monster wait in a hurry, your fate will definitely be very miserable. Quickly open the door of Iwagakure and take Konoha's people to the bar. Huang Tu felt as if there was a fierce gaze looking at him behind him, and said quickly. Yes. The Rock Shinobi glanced at each other, their gazes were a little sad, and they responded. However, compared with the huge war reparations, this result is already very good. Outside the gate of Iwagakure. At this time, the ninjas crowded with Konoha. The leader is the Konoha elite Jonin headed by Minato. Crunch, crunch. Iwagakure's door opened slowly. Roar. The war has begun. Konoha's eyes suddenly turned red. Iwagakure, outside the gate. The gate of Iwagakure is a huge stone gate made of chakra nature transformation, the earth property of ultimate. In terms of defensive power, Rock Shinobi can proudly say that this stone gate is definitely the best in the ninja world. At this moment, outside this huge stone gate, more than 6,000 Konoha Shinobi are gathered in a crowded area. Hoo-hoo, a heavy breathing sounded continuously. All the Konoha Shinobi were staring at the huge stone gate of Iwagakure. In front of all Konoha Shinobi, there is the Konoha elite Jonin and the Jonin team headed by Namikaze Minato. The elite Jonin and Jonin are also absolutely precious resources in Konoha. They will usually be in charge of a small team, or even a large team, and they have to bear the responsibility of command. Moreover, Jonin are people who have experienced countless difficult tasks and have experienced many battles. Therefore, even in the war, they are also very calm people. And Namikaze Minato is one of the legendary Sannin, the disciple of Jiraiya. One of Konoha's top powerhouses. On the battlefield, he has always been known for being calm and decisive. But at this moment, including Minato, these Konoha Jonin, all eyes are red, staring at the door of Iwagakure. Usually calm, I don't know where they were thrown. Everyone's eyes were red, staring at the door, only the heavy breathing sounded constantly. Here, I fell into a strange and quiet atmosphere. Depressively terrible. Crunch, crunch. At this moment, Rock Shinobi's huge stone gate made a loud noise. Then, slowly open. It's going to be turned on. The one who grabs the most fine wine can get the guidance of Master Uyu. Chance. Only this time. This is our war. When Rock Shinobi's door was completely opened, Konoha's people seemed to have seen a hungry wolf prey. Crazy. Flying Thunder God technique. Huh. Minato's eyes were flushed, his hands were pinched, and he disappeared in an instant. Jackpot. He is determined to win. Minato, damn guy. Is space-time ninjutsu amazing? Seeing that Minato disappeared, hello and my good Konoha Jonin on weekdays suddenly yelled. How could there be such a shameless person? Time and space ninjutsu is simply cheating. Huh, it's not necessarily who is the last laugh. Earth style. Scuba diving in the earth. A Konoha Jonin roared, his hands quickly sealed, and chakra rioted wildly. Then his body flashed, dived into the earth, and rushed towards Iwagakure at a terrifying speed. Do you think you have a way? Water style, water dragon bomb technique. The Jonins who are good at water style roared as they watched the leaving earth style ninjas. One water dragon soared into the sky, and they took advantage of the water attribute chakra nature transformation, firmly attached to the water dragon, and galloped away. Wind style, feng-shing technique. Lightning style, lightning technique. The rest of Jonin's eyes were red, and high-level ninjutsu shot out one by one. Wind style ninjas use wind style to improve their speed. Lightning style ninja stimulates their cells with lightning style. Damn, I only know fire style. A Jonin from the Sarutobi clan roared at the other Jonin who were leaving quickly. The Sarutobi family is a family that focuses on fire style. The fire style, which he was so proud of in the past, made this Sarutobi family member Jonin very angry at this moment. A wasteful escape. Can't speed it up. Yes, use fire style as a booster. At this time, another Jonin who is good at using it suddenly shines. Fire style. Great fireball technique. The Jonin roared, all the chakra was concentrated in the throat, and then he spouted. Boom. The huge fireball hit the ground fiercely, and the resulting explosive force caused the Jonin to fly towards the center of Iwagakure at a terrifying speed. Can this happen? All fire-style ninjas suddenly shined, and they started to learn. Suddenly, thunder, fire, wind, waterfall. Countless high-level ninjutsu shines in Iwagakure. At the entrance of the village, rock shinobi's Jonin looked at all this in awe. Jonin's chakra is also limited. On weekdays, for these people, every ninjutsu must be calculated carefully. Especially for advanced ninjutsu, you must be cautious when releasing it. What's more is to use physique to fight, let the enemy reveal the flaw, and then use advanced ninjutsu to kill it in one fell swoop. Because of advanced ninjutsu, the cost of chakra is too huge. Even Jonin, a few advanced ninjutsu, chakra will be completely exhausted. At this time, these Jonins who have to buckle and buckle, even the release of a C-level ninjutsu. Advanced ninjutsu didn't seem to consume chakra, and he smashed it out desperately. No, isn't it just to move wine? A rock shinobi said, shivering. Look at this posture. The guys from Hikono are exaggerated when they fight with Iwagakure on the battlefield. I don't know, I thought Konoha's guys were going to ruin Iwagakure. But in fact, they can all see it. These Konoha guys just want to make their movements faster. Woo. What is your native name? At this time, Yu Yu's figure appeared here, making everyone at Rock Shinobi frightened. My name is Lois. Huang Tu's face was full of grief and indignation. He beat himself so many times, but he still didn't remember his name. No matter what your name is, you are the son of the old bastard Onoki, right? Yu Yu waved his hand indifferently and said, yes, yes. Huang Tu nodded heartily. If others dared to insult his father like this in front of him, he would have taken a lesson long ago. And if his father is an old bastard, what is he? But Chimu Yu Yu's words. Just scold it, it's a lot of meat. Huang Tu comforted herself in her heart. Very well, come with me. Yu Yu nodded and smiled satisfied. Iwagakure, in the village. Da-da, rumble. Asshole. This is my wine. You fart. It seems that I beat you lightly at the ninja school, do you think you can do it again? Bad son. It just happens to be new the old accounts will be settled together. Lois dared walked ahead in shock. Loud noises and the roars of Konoha shinobi were constantly heard in the ears. Although he is a little dull in his mind, he is not stupid. In the screaming competition among the Konoha shinobi, Huang Tu gradually understood a fact. That is, as long as the person who gets the most fine wine in Iwagakure, he can get the personal guidance of the monster Chimu Yu. No wonder Konoha's guys are so crazy. Huang Tu thought secretly in his heart. Chimu Yu is now almost recognized as the most powerful terrorist in attack and destructive power in the ninja world. One-handed swordsmanship can break mountains and rocks. Even the original, Konoha's White Fangfang, Hitaki Sakumo can't compare with Chimu Yu in the power of swordsmanship. The most frightening thing is that Huang Tu knows that Chimu Yu is not just good at swordsmanship. The physique of this monster is also very terrifying. They were killed in a camp in Iwagakure by this monster using physical skills. Swordsmanship and physique are terrifying Chimu Yu. Even if you haven't used ninjutsu before, can you dare to say that he is definitely not good at ninjutsu? Maybe, Chimu Yu's ninjutsu skills are also very powerful. As for why Chimu Yu doesn't use it once, Huang Tu guessed that it might be Chimu Yu who is addicted to alcohol and forgets Jian every time. Woo. When Lois had some malicious guesses, a violent whistling sound came from behind him. Pop. Wow. With this heavy pumping, Huang Tu fell directly to the ground in a posture of a dog eating shit. The pain deep in the bone marrow came from behind, and the bloody smell from the mouth made the Lois scream. His tongue was bitten. You bastard, are you thinking about something messy? At this time, a drunken voice came from behind, causing the scream of Huang Tu to stop. Huang Tu shuddered suddenly, only to feel that his whole body was upside down. Since, what I thought, how could this monster know about it? Huang Tu only felt the hair loss, and those drunken eyes seemed to be able to see through him. I have nothing to write about Sasori. Flap, pop, pop. Huang Tu quickly turned his head to explain something, but because of his tongue bite, he was slurred in what he said. Then, the black shadows drew over, let Huang Tu hold his head and screamed ceaselessly. What are you talking about? Are you drunk? Do you dare to be tough? Yu looked at the Lois danglingly, narrowing his drunken eyes slightly. Observation Hockey has almost reached the ultimate UYU. In the drunken state, Observation Hockey has also received special enhancements. Although Huang Tu could not know exactly what he was thinking in his heart, he was still aware of something that was unfavorable to him. Huang Tu shivered while holding his head, he just wanted to cry at the moment. Think of him as the son of 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki. Although he was dull since he was a child, how could he have suffered such a thing? As long as one sentence is wrong. No. Even if there is a slight error in my mind. This monster would not say anything, and directly smoked himself severely. This kind of physical and psychological torture almost caused Huang Tu's spirit to collapse. Yes, I'm sorry. Huang Tu quickly swallowed the blood foam in his mouth, and during the pain, trying to make his speech clearer. Well, continue to lead the way. Yu nodded in satisfaction, took out a bottle of wine and took another sip. Yu at the moment is very satisfied. Soon, the entire Iwagakure wine will be in his own pocket. Today is really a happy day. Here it is. Huang Tu pointed to a quaint house and said tremblingly. Here, in the heart of Iwagakure. There is such a quaint house here, which occupies a huge area, which is naturally unusual. This is 3rd Tsuchikage, the home of Onoki, armed, boom. Huang Tu looked at the huge stone gate of his house and was kicked to pieces by Yu, his eyes staring out. This door was made by his father, 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi, using the ultimate soil attribute chakra nature transformation. If Yu cut in half, Huang Tu would not be surprised. But with a physical kick, it actually smashed this level of earth style to pieces. Chimu Yu, monster. Well, this room should be here. Yu's eyes lit up, and he didn't even care about the Lois, so he rushed in. Bang. 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 Several hidden places were instantly cut open by Yu. Seeing the dazzling array of wines inside, Yu let go of his eyes. The Lois on the side was stunned. Why are you so proficient? These wines are all treasures of his father. Because of his mother, Dayemu is quite strict about drinking. Compared with Onogi, he is not young, and his physical condition is also average. Too much alcohol is not good for his health. As Oyumu's son, there are some hidden places that he carefully inquired about. After all, some wines can't be drunk even with Lois. Sometimes he secretly drinks a few bottles and then fills them with water. Then, he was beaten by his father more than once. However, there are some places that Yu cut open, but they are not even known to him. Why is Chimu Yu so clear? Old guys, the places where the wine is kept are similar. Yu skillfully took out a seal scroll from behind and grinned. The approximate location of Onoki Tibetan sake is very similar to that of the old man. Yu, who has copied Sarutobi Hiruzen's house more than once, is so familiar. Put it inside. If a bottle is missed, I'll cut you off. Yu skillfully spread the seal scroll on the ground, pointed the Lois, and said. Why are you so skilled? Hearing Yu's words, the corners of his mouth twitched. Seal. Sealing the last bottle of wine into the scroll, Huang Tu shuddered. Too ruthless. At this time, Oyumu's home was full of mess, almost 3 feet away. Even the land was turned over. It can be said that there are no dead ends, just like the bandits invaded. No. Chimu Yu is a bandit. His father's inventory was completely wiped out by Chimu Yu. These wines are extremely expensive treasures. It's not something you can buy if you have money. In addition, Iwagakure is located in the mountains, and only in good harvest years can you get excellent food for brewing fine wine. Good wine will be produced this year, and there may not be any production in the next few years. There are some wines that Onoki is reluctant to drink. They have been left for decades, waiting for happy days, and sipping them after opening them. As a result, Chimu Uyu took away all the old things. It is hard to imagine how he would feel when his father woke up and saw the mess in the house. Very good, good job. Yu took the scroll, patted Huang Tu on the shoulder, and exclaimed a few words skillfully. You are too rewarding. The Lois, which was pumped by Yu at every turn, felt weird and flattered. He waved his hands again and again, with a silly smile on his face. By the way, where's the special wine from the Daming Mansion in the country of the earth? Oyemu should have it too, right? Yu's light and fluttering words made the silly smile on Huang Tu's face stiff. This, you also know. Huang Tu's face showed an expression more ugly than crying. Chimu Yu, what is going on? The special wine of the Daming Mansion, this is only the Danming Mansion of the 5 major countries can enjoy the jelly. It can be said to be extremely precious. Even if it is the famous mansion, it is not always possible to get these jelly syrup every year. There is no way, because of the relationship between the environment, geography, and war. It can be said that the grain and materials used for brewing jelly are very cherished. Sometimes, there may not be a trace for several years. For example, the land country where Iwagakure is located may have fought with Cloud Shinobi Village for several years. Where can there be food to make wine? Moreover, the land is destroyed in the war, and there may be no harvest. So it is even more precious. But this kind of wine specially offered by the Daming Mansion, apart from the people in the Daming Mansion, also knows that the cage of Shinobu Village, which belongs to the 5 great nations, knows that it is impossible for other people to know this kind of wine. Even his father, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, still has a very good relationship with Daimyo Tsuchikage. It will take years to get some. Chimu Yu, how did you know that there is such a wine? Sucking. At this time, Huang Tu's eyes widened. What did he see? Chimu Yu licked his lips like aftertaste. Have drunk this kind of wine? Lois suddenly became a little confused. Recalling that Yu Saiga refused to accept the order of the Konoha village elders, and at the entrance of the village, Tsunade Haim gave him Konoha's 3rd Hokage, some war compensation handwritten by Sarutobi Hiruzen. I think of Chimu Yu's so skillful behavior in his own home. Konoha's 3rd Hokage, won't it be snatched by Yu Saiga? In the mind of Lois, there seemed to be a flash of thunder. Huh? What weird thing are you thinking about again? Yu shook his neck, narrowing his drunken eyes slightly. No, it's nothing. I will take you to pick it up. If you don't have one at home, it should be. It's the Tsuchikage building, right? Yu interrupted the Huangtu dialect before he could play. Hearing these extremely proficient words, Huangtu's simple cheeks suddenly twitched. Sure enough, Konoha's 3rd Hokage was also snatched by Yu Saiga. At the same time, he became more and more frightened, not daring to speak any more nonsense. This is a ruthless person who even dared to snatch Hokage from their village. Huang Tu felt more and more that he hadn't been beaten to death before, and that his ancestors really accumulated virtue. I will take you there. Huang Tu didn't dare to be negligent, so he said quickly and took Yu. Soon, Huang Tu brought Yu to the Tsuchikage building. Then watching Yu expertly search in Tsuchikage's office and several rooms, his cheeks twitched. Too skilled. Proficiency made Lois feel a little sympathetic to 3rd Hokage. How many times have to be robbed? Chimu Yu can be so skilled. And at this moment, the distant Konoha village. Sarutobi Hiruzen is sitting in the office at this time, looking at the documents. I saw that he sneezed fiercely, so powerful that Sarutobi Hiruzen shed tears. Who is scolding me? Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly felt a little sad at this time. This feeling came especially inexplicable. Hey, Iwagakure's war is over, and the kid Yu may also be back. What should we do to escape this catastrophe? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned and looked sad. But he has already released his words to make those who deceive him look good. Jiraiya has turned around in a hurry and is trying to remedy this problem. And as the initiator, thinking of Yu's bandit behavior, Sarutobi Hiruzen shivered severely. When Sarutobi Hiruzen is thinking hard. Oh. Found it. At this moment, Yu's eyes suddenly lit up, looking at about 40 bottles, neatly arranged in a transparent cabinet, with beautifully packaged agar. This amount is actually close to twice the amount obtained from the old man. Bang. Yu opened one of the bottles and sniffed. Ding. Kendo +1. Well, that's it. Yu grinned, smelling the scent of wine that was completely different from that of the famous mansion Changyi in the country of fire, and his eyes were a little intoxicated. Tons. Ding. Kendo comprehension +8. Ding. Physique +8. Ding. Observation hockey +8. A series of reminders sounded in Yu Yu's mind. Ha. It tastes really good. After a while, a bottle of jelly was eaten. Yu breathed out a sigh of alcohol, and his drunk face was filled with satisfaction. Guru. Huang Tu saw this, smelled the tempting aroma of wine in the air, and swallowed fiercely. This kind of jelly, his father Onoki can be said to be stingy to the extreme. He has never drank it. Oyemu had told him that when Oyemu had grandchildren and he had children, he would open a bottle to celebrate. But before that day, the Lois was taken up by Chimu Yu. However, he did not dare to have the slightest dissatisfaction. Come on, pack these wines separately. Yu pointed at the Lois and ordered. Yes. With tears in his heart, Huang Tu packed all the agar paste into a single seal scroll. Yes, Yu-sama, I have given you all the fine wines. Can you please raise your hand and let Iwagakure go? Looking at the result seal scroll, Yu smiled, Huang Tu swallowed, and said bitterly. Iwagakure, Tsuchikage Building, Tsuchikage Office. As the place where the supreme leader of Iwagakure was, at this time, it was in a mess, as if it had been robbed. Yu-sama, can you give Iwagakure a shot? Huang Tu looked at Yu with a smile on his face nervously, and said bitterly. Although Iwagakure has already paid what Yu wanted. But who knows if Chimu Yu will turn his face and deny him after he gets it. This is a terrible and moody character. Maybe he patted your shoulder to encourage you 1 second before, and then the scabbard in his hand was pulled over the next second. For such a character, Lois is unavoidable. Now the portal of Iwagakure is wide open, and Konoha's ninjas are everywhere in Iwagakure. If Chimu Yu suddenly attacked, then Iwagakure would cease to exist. Put it? With a smile on your drunken face, Yu put the scroll in his ninja bag. A glance at the Lois made his whole body stiff. This time your performance is not bad, I will not cut Iwagakure. Yu grinned and said, is there any benefit to Iwagakure besides making one's wrist more tired? But. Huang Tu was about to take a breath, and Yu's light words suddenly lifted the breath he had just let down. Slap, 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 the jet black scabbard patted Lois's body. The Lois complexion was stiff, and he did not dare to talk nonsense. At the same time, he was a little puzzled, and Yu suddenly drew him. He didn't feel surprised. After all, Chimu Yu is a moody person. But this time, there was no such strange energy on the scabbard. Although there is some pain, it is still within the tolerance of Lois. It's all fat. It's really annoying. Yu took the scabbard, patted the fat of the Lois, and suddenly a fire came up. When I first came to the Rock Shinobi battlefield, I was going to show a physique stat point that was so impressive. Then let Tsunade know what family status is. As a result, these bastards of Iwagakure are all fat. Now, Yu feels like he has found the culprit. It's this bastard. As the son of Tsuchikage, he is a fat man in one suit, setting a bad example for all Rock Shinobi in Iwagakure. Flap. Pop. Pop. Wow. This time, covering the scabbard of armament hockey, the Lois screamed again and again. Who did I provoke? Lois lay on the ground very skillfully, protecting the vitals of his body, and began to scream. Crying without tears in my heart. His body fat is all prepared for Earth style. After using Earth style, this body fat will become the hardest rock. And compared with muscle, the recovery capacity of fat is several times faster, and it can better store chakra. But who could have imagined that this fat of his own body would become his own catastrophe today? Slap, slap, slap. Yes, Master Yu, don't fight, I practice, I definitely train all fat into muscle. He was beaten for a full minute, but Chimu Yu showed no sign of stopping, and he beat him harder. This made Huang Tu panic suddenly. This is a real hit. A drunk guy is still a monster that gets more terrifying as he drinks. What was the result of a real fire? Although he has thick skin and thick flesh, he can't help being beaten like this by this monster. Let him fight again, and he will definitely be beaten to death. Huang Tu spoke immediately, begging for mercy weakly. Oh. Are you practicing? Hearing the words, Yu stopped the whipping movement, frosting the autumn water in his hands, and looking at the Lois that had less air intake, there was a panic of terror. Yes, Yu-sama, I promised to build a muscle. Huang Tu didn't know why Chimu Yu hated his body fat so much at this time. But how can there be time to think about this kind of thing now? Save your life first. Well, it's okay. Yu squeezed his chin and thought for a while. Huang Tu can be regarded as another master at cage level. If you develop a muscle and let his strength grow a bit, if you cut him at that time, you should get a good physique attribute point. Practice hard, and when I meet you next time, if I cut it smoothly, I will chop you. If it's still the same as it is now, the fat all over makes it difficult for me to chop. Yu Yu's words made Huang Tu shudder suddenly. He understands what Yu Yu's follow-up words are, that is, he can go to see his ancestors at that time. At the same time, Huang Tu felt immense grief and anger in his heart. It turns out that the reason why Yu Saiga beat himself up and said that to Iwagakure is because his body of fat makes it difficult for him to chop. Even if he developed a muscle, Chimu Yu would get a stab in the end. However, Huang Tu struggled for a while, and he was determined to develop a muscle, and he wanted to practice better than the gangsters of Cloud Shinobi Village. After all, just being chopped, there is still a chance of surviving. If you don't practice well. Huang Tu shuddered suddenly, thinking about his own father, but he was still in a coma. At that time, no one can save himself. From now on, you will be the fitness captain of Iwagakure. You must call on all rock shinobi to join the fitness industry, understand? Yu patted Lois on the shoulder as he walked outside the Tsuchikage building, drunk on his face, and said. Yes, I will not let Yu-sama down. Huang Tu's face was bitter. Resisting the pain from her body, trying hard to keep up with Yu's footsteps, her honest face flushed. Well, work hard. I will take the time to check the results with Iwagakure. Yu grinned and encouraged Huang Tu a few words. This sentence makes Lois's heart like an ice cave. This monster, still want to review it? Oh my god. Iwagakure, who has always been known for its earth style, is going to become a shinobu who specializes in physical skills. As for fooling around. Don't dare Lois. This monster is moody, maybe it's really coming to Iwagakure. If he didn't make a satisfactory result, maybe Iwagakure would be cut flat on the spot. I will definitely work hard. Huang Tu gave a smile that was uglier than crying. Master Yu, you are here. The moment Yu and Lois walked out of Tsuchikage-sama, a voice rang. Iwagakure, outside the Tsuchikage building. Master Yu, you are here. Lu Ju, Ding Zuo and others were waiting here, and seeing Yu walking out with the Lois, Lu Ju had an expression of predicted on his face. Yu-sama, it's so cruel. Looked at the Lois behind Yu, his eyes were hollow, as if there was nothing to love. Look at the mess in the Tsuchikage building again. Lu Ju and the others twitched, thinking silently in his heart. Lu Ju and others, as Konoha's core staff, have seen this scene more than once. Every time Yu went to the Hokage office to rob, when they went to report to 3rd Hokage-sama looked like this. Lu Ju, what's the matter? Yu said slowly. All the wines of Iwagakure are already at the gate. Please ask Master Yu to check it out. Lu Ju said with a smile. Oh? It's all installed? Yu shook his whole body, his eyes gleaming. Yes, Lord Yu, the one who got the most wine this time is. Woo. Before Lujia's words were finished, Yu's figure had disappeared in place. Lu Ju and the others looked at Yu, who was no longer there, and looked at each other. You are Lois, right? At this time, Lu Ju took out a scroll from behind, looked at the Lois on the side and said. Yes. Huang Tu looked at Lu Ju and nodded. He recognizes this costume. Konoha's Nara clan, known as the highest IQ in the ninja world. Since Konoha established the village, generations of patriarchs have been Konoha's military divisions during the war. This is our Hokage-sama's request of Iwagakure. Lu Ju handed the scroll in his hand to Huang Tu and said. Ming, I understand. Huang Tu took the scroll, and after reading it carefully, he nodded with a wry smile. Although there are many resources and things, they are still within the scope of Iwagakure. Well, secretly hand over these resources to us, and the ninjas of our ceiling class will follow you. Deer nodded for a long time. These requirements are all personal requirements of Sarutobi Hiruzen. The required resources are the resources needed by the Hokage family. For example, the seeds of medicinal materials needed by the Nara clan, the finished medicinal materials needed by the Akamichi clan, and the special insects needed by the Aburame clan. Of course, this was approved by Yu. Otherwise, Lu Ju and others dare not carry Yu on their backs and ask Iwagakure to hand over these resources. As for the requirements of the elders, I was torn by Yu a long time ago. Lu Ju and the others are members of the Hokage family, but it doesn't matter if the guys in the elders are furious. If you have the courage, just go to Yu and ask for it. Let's see if Yu slashed you down, or slashed you down. Iwagakure, the gate. What a lucky guy. Damn it, why didn't I have such good luck? Hey, people are better than people, so angry. At this time, the gate of Iwagakure was full of fine wines, piled up like a mountain. At the feet of all Konoha shinobi, there are more or less piles of fine wine. Among them, two are the most. One is the disciple of Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin, known as Yellow Flash, Namikaze Minato. I saw dozens of boxes of fine wines piled up next to Minato. Judging from the packaging, I knew that these wines were all fine products. At this moment, Minato has a wry smile on his face. From the beginning of entering Iwagakure, Minato used all his strength. Flying Thunder God technique played to ultimate and got these fine wines. I originally thought that I was already holding the handle and could win the jackpot, but I didn't expect. Minato looked not far away. There stood a middle-aged man wearing a Konoha Jonin vest and carrying a shinobi sword behind him, but he was not brilliant. The middle-aged man's face was full of anxiety at the moment. This person, named Maue Chinkone, belongs to the Maue clan, which is just a small family. Moreover, he is just a special Jonin. But in this battle, he was lucky enough to crash into a warehouse where the Iwagakure family stores fine wines. All of a sudden, he became the one who got the most fine wines. However, although Konoha everyone was jealous, but they did not dare to take action. Because Uyu made it very clear that whoever discovered it first belonged to him. If a person or a family breaks the rules, not only will they not be able to obtain his guidance, but will suffer a disaster. As for Minato, although he regrets in his heart, he still won't do things like robbing others of the results. Woo! At this time, Uyu's figure appeared here. Master Uyu. Suddenly, everyone's eyes were attracted by Uyu. Some Konoha's Jonin looked unwilling. It can be said that they tried their best to get Uyu's teaching. But unfortunately, in the end it was not able to do so. Uyu, here you are, take a look, these are all the good wines of Iwagakure. Minato looked at Uyu, with a regretful smile on his face, and said. Yeah. Uyu's eyes shined. These, but a treasury of all the fine wines in the 5 great ninja villages. Look at these dazzling array of wines, enough to drink for a while. Diaresis Uyu, this is the one who got the most good drinks this time, Maue Chinkone. Minato pointed to Uyu Chinkone, who was worried on the side, and said. Oh? Uyu glanced over, a little surprised in his eyes. He originally thought that Minato must have won the first prize this time. After all, Minato's mind, Uyu also knew that he wanted to help him research an attack ninjutsu suitable for him. What's so difficult about this? Rasengan, just give it to Minato. But in the end, it was unexpected that this guy the first had never seen won the first prize. You use a knife. Good luck. Uyu looked at the fine wine piled up next to this person, and when you looked at the alcohol-induced packaging, you knew it was first class, patted this person on the shoulder, and grinned. Thanks. Thank you Master Uyu for the compliment. Azuki Aozora was patted on the shoulder by Uyu, and his face suddenly became excited. Lord Uyu, can I give this place to someone else? After a long pause, Maue Chinkone swallowed and bit his scalp and said. Huh? To someone? Who do you want to give to? Uyu raised his brows and asked. My daughter's son. Maue Chinkone scratched her cheek and said. As a ninja who uses swordsmanship, Azuki Aozora naturally knows how rare it is to be able to obtain the guidance of Lord Saiga Uyu, the first man in swordsmanship in the ninja world. But he also knows himself, his potential is limited, and he will be a special Jonin in his life. Even if you get the guidance of Lord Uyu, you can become a Jonin or an elite Jonin at best. However, he is already old, and his strength will rapidly regress with age. So, it is better to give this opportunity to my young daughter. Naturally, what is your daughter's name? Uyu is in a good mood today, nodded, and replied. Everyone teaches in Orthodox Church, and it is more pleasant to teach a girl than to teach a middle-aged uncle. My daughter's name is Azuki Shion Kong. Maue Chinkone scratched his head, with a touch of pride on his face, and said respectfully. This name is so familiar. Uyu shook his drunken head and narrowed his eyes. Iwagakure, at the gate. Huang Tu and other Iwagakure Jonin and special Jonin all gathered here. They watched the back of Konoha slowly disappear into the sky. Looking at the surrounding area of Iwagakure, which originally had a natural barrier, it was already deserted at the moment. All the boulders and mountains were chopped into rubble. On the ground, a series of black cracks, like the most terrifying abyss, makes people look chilling. This scene is unbelievable. It is the periphery of Iwagakure where Cloud Shinobi Village once had a natural barrier. The Jonins of Rock Shinobi, looking at this broken scene, the corners of their mouths are a little bitter, and their hearts are extremely sad. Some even shed tears. They Iwagakure failed miserably. Even the door of the house was beaten like this. If it weren't for the damning mansion of the land to come forward and mediate with the land of fire, then Iwagakure would be attacked by Yu Saiga. Don't make this look, at least Iwagakure and everyone are fine, right? Huang Tu looked at Jonan's expressions, his lips trembled, and he cheered up and comforted. Rock Shinobi Jonan nodded and responded in a low voice. Indeed, as Huang Tu said, they thought that Iwagakure would be like Sanagakure, blood flowed like a river. This result is already the best. By the way, Huang Tu, what do you say to us before Chimu Yu left? We don't really want to train our muscles? At this moment, Huoguang suddenly remembered something, and his pale cheeks twitched and looked at the Lois. Thinking of them Iwagakure, because of Earth Style, all ninjas who are good at Earth Style are all fat. After using Earth Style, these fats will become the hardest rock, invincible. Cloud Shinobi Village, which is not in line with Iwagakure, has a brutal style. Every Cloud Shinobi is proud of its muscles. So when their Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village went to war, their Iwagakure liked to call Cloud Shinobi an idiot with muscles in his head. But now, their Iwagakure, are they going to be the most annoying people ever? When Huang Tu heard the words, the expression on his face became stiff, and then a powerful expression of grief and anger surged. Didn't you listen to Chimu Yu? He will come to Iwagakure to check later. If you don't want to practice, I don't think you can hold the knife in Chimu Yu's hand. Huang Tu's mouth twitched, his face flushed, and said. The rock shinobi Jonan thought of Chimu Yu's horror, and shuddered all over, with a look of fear in their eyes. What else is this talking about? Practice. It's better to build a muscle than to be hacked to death by Chimu Yu, right? If you die on the battlefield, that's fine. At any rate, you are also killed in the name of a war hero. Their glorious deeds can also be recorded on the memorial monument. But if you were hacked to death by Chimu Yu because you didn't develop a muscle, how do you write on the memorial tablet? Cause of death. Due to sluggish muscle exercise, died at the hands of Konoha Chimu Yu. What a dead eye. Master Lois. At this time, a rock shinobi wearing a chunin vest, ran wildly while shouting constantly. Huh? In the morning? Aren't you in charge of the shelter? Huang Tu turned around and frowned. In the morning, Chunin, a senior Iwagakure elite, has rich experience, so this time he is in charge of everything in the Iwagakure refuge. Yellow, Lord Lois. In the morning, he ran to Huang Tu's side, panting violently, his face flushed, but the joy on his face couldn't be concealed. Soil, Master Tsuchikage is awake. What? Huang Tu and others were taken aback for a moment, and then ecstasy appeared on their faces. Iwagakure, Back Mountain. Here, there is an extremely hidden refuge. Surrounded by Iwagakure's most powerful seal barrier, even if a perceptual ninja walked past it, it wouldn't be noticed at all. Since a room in the refuge is a refuge, it naturally uses the space ultimate. To be able to have a separate house in this refuge is an extremely luxury. Third Tsuchikage Onoki leaned on the bed, his body was covered with gauze, like a mummy. Only his red rosacea, eyes and mouth exposed, looked extraordinarily funny. Boom. Father, Master Tsuchikage. The door of the room was slammed open, and Huang Tu and the others rushed in, their faces full of excitement. Puff. Huang Tu and others looked at Oyumu's dress, their mouths curled, although they knew that this moment was not appropriate. But some people couldn't help but laugh out loud. Tsuchikage-sama's rosacea is too conspicuous. What's so funny? When Oyemu saw Huang Tu and the others, he was trembling with anger, his hands and feet were cold, and he almost fainted. He has become like this, how can these idiots laugh? Especially for his unbelievable son, you, lousy, were almost hacked to death. How can you laugh when you see this tragic situation of yourself? Chimu Yu, it's really ruthless to start. Onoki felt the pain from all over his body, and his face under the gauze was extremely pale. Thinking of his experience that day, that terrifying slash, Oyemu felt cold all over, with a look of fear on his face. That slash was too terrifying, and facing that slash, he would be affected by the breath of death on that slash. If it hadn't been for the decisive action, and hide directly under 5 tails, it would have been dead already. Even so, Oyemu still clearly remembered, 5 tails, there was no resistance to that slash. Had it not been for the existence of the tailed beast chakra, which had linked the flesh of 5 tails would have been chopped into several pieces and died tragically under that slash. And his own injury was also caused by that terrifying slash through 5 tails' body. What if he faced that slash directly? Oyemu can affirm that Huang Tu, an unfilial son, doesn't even need to collect his own body. No ashes will be left. Tell me about the current situation. Onoki calmed down and asked. Iwagakure, refuge, in the separate room of Onoki. That's it, father. Lois briefly explained the process, but for some important places, Lois deliberately did not say it. Look at this picture of his father, right? It's almost one step away from the coffin board. Huang Tu didn't dare to irritate his father and make him faint. For example, Chimuyu robbed all of Onoki's Tibetan wine, but the Lois did not mention it. There is also the Tsuchikage building, where the Chimu of the Daming Mansion was looted by Chimuyu, and the Lois did not say anything. Chimuyu asked all rock shinobi to exercise their muscles, but Huang Tu still didn't say. Huang Tu couldn't help but point a thumbs up for his wit. With bandages all over his body, only rosacea, lips and eyes leaked out, like a mummy like Onoki. After listening to the simple report from Lois, he leaned on the bed, his eyes a little lost. Then, Onoki's eyes suddenly became red and bloodshot, and his whole body trembled. Chimuyu, you deceived so much, hiss. But contrary to Huang Tu's expectations, even if these things were not said, the impact on his father was still too great. I saw Oyemu let out a roar, and his whole body trembled violently. But unexpectedly, this immediately involved the wound, which directly caused the bandages on Onoki's body to overflow with blood. Especially on the broken right shoulder of Onoki, blood spurted directly. You use knife, but armament hockeys, is there such a good cure? Had it not been for Iwagakure's best medical ninja to treat with medical ninjutsu, Onoki would have bled and died long ago. Puff. The sound of spurting blood continued to sound, and Oyemu instantly became a bloodman. What to do? Master Tsuchikage spurted blood. Suddenly, the rock shinobi Jonin panicked and were at a loss. Onoki looked at the panic, rock shinobi Jonin, who just yelled what to do, almost fainted. These simple-minded idiots. What to do if you only know how to call, don't you know how to call a medical ninja? If the blood shed like this, Onoki felt that he was really going to die. Didn't die on the battlefield, but died of being pissed off by Chimuyu, I would really die. Here, call me a doctor. Oyemu let out a roar from the soul. Master Tsuchikage, your wound hasn't completely healed yet, so you can't get angry. The mysterious energy of Chimuyu's attack still remains on your wound. If you break the wound again, I am afraid I can do nothing. The captain of the Iwagakure medical ninja team looked at Onogi and said in a deep voice. No, got it. At this time, Oyeki was wrapped in 2 more bandages. Excessive blood loss made Onogi feel weak in speaking. He really didn't expect Chimuyu's attack to be so terrible. After their Iwagakure's best medical ninja treatment, they still didn't completely dissolve the mysterious energy of Chimuyu's attack. Just now, Onoki was also out of breath for a while. After all, under his own leadership, where did Iwagakure experience such a fiasco? It turned out to have reached the point where the Daming Mansion of the land could mediate. This is simply a shame to Iwagakure. It is also the shame of his Onoki. Don't be angry, at least the war losses are still within acceptable limits. Those compensations that Sarutobi Hiruzen asked for, Iwagakure can recover for several years, and can also restore vitality. Chimuyu, the eyelids are still too shallow, and those wines are taken away. I still have those fine wines that I have treasured, as well as the jelly of the Daming Mansion in the country of Earth. Chimuyu may never have seen such a good wine in his life. Onoki calmed down for a while, and kept comforting himself in his heart. By the way, he yelled at Uyu, which made him feel much better. With another spurt, he can really go to see his teacher, second Tsuchikage. When the teacher asked him how he died, Onogi didn't know how to answer. Was cut half to death by a Konoha kid, and then after waking up, he was pissed to death? That is simply. Father, are you still angry? Huang Tu looked at Onoki, his lips trembled, and asked. Haha, I'm not angry anymore, Chimuyu, but a child, short-sighted. When I regain my vitality, Iwagakure will definitely make him look good. Onogi smiled forcibly and said. By the way, father, all the wine you hid was taken by Uyu Chimu. Seeing that Onoki's mood stabilized, Huang Tu breathed a sigh of relief, and then said something he hadn't dared to say just now. As for why dare to say now? Didn't he hear that his father said he wasn't angry anymore? Also, in the Tsuchikage building, all the jelly of the famous palace was taken away by Uyu Chimu. Oh, by the way, Chimuyu asked me to lead all the rock shinobi to practice muscles. He wants to check. Yellow, Lois. Before he finished speaking the Lois dialect, Onoki was trembling, struggling to raise his bandaged left hand, and patted his son on the cheek. What's the matter, father? Huang Tu asked somewhat puzzledly. You said that after Yu Saiga came to Iwagakure, he beat you more than once, didn't you? Onoki's voice was strangely calm. Yes, father, that guy is really cruel. Huang too heard the words, tears almost came down. Chi Mu Yu started, it was really ruthless. If he didn't agree with him, he would be beaten to death. Had it not been for his cleverness, I'm afraid Chimu Yu would have beaten him alive. Pop. At this moment, a fierce handknife smashed into the face of Huang Tu. You deserve you. While yelling, Onoki waved his remaining left hand and smashed it on the Lois. Laozi said that he was not angry anymore. You really thought you were not angry anymore? At this time, I still said that this kind of thing angered myself, because I wanted to die by myself. Don't fight. Master Tsuchikage, you are bleeding again. If you continue to fight, you will die, Master Tsuchikage. Suddenly, the scene became a mess, and when Iwagakure made a mess. Konohaga's spinning team. Konohaga's spinning team. Compared with Iwagakure, who was in a mess over there and was unwilling to lose in the war, everyone on Konoha's face was full of smiles. Everyone in Konoha does have a reason to be happy. Since Konoha's first Hokage Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara will die together, Konoha has experienced 3 wars in the ninja world so far. In every battle in the ninja world, Konoha faced a dozen or so Da ninja villages in the end. And every time, Konoha suffered a heavy loss. In the first ninja war, Konoha lost second Hokage Senju Tobarama and many Jonin elites. The second ninja war was even more tragic. The Senju clan, one of the 2 major families of Konoha Kenkun, and Senju Nawaki, the minor patriarch, were killed in battle. Tsunade Haim, one of Sanin, suffers from panasemia and leaves Konoha to travel around ninja world. The Senju family completely retired and withdrew from the stage of the shinobi world. The rest of the many elites and Jonin were killed in countless battles. And this time in the Third Ninja World War, Konoha is arguably facing the most difficult situation in history. Konoha, a pair of Sanagakure, Iwagakure, Cloud Shinobi Village and 3 big shinobi villages. Kirigakure is also eyeing. Fortunately, Konoha has a peerless genius who rises up. Mr. Chimu Yu single-handedly hit Sanagakure. So Sanagakure is temporarily unable to participate in the ninja war. Although Konoha was happy at this time, he was still very heavy. Because they have to face Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village. These 2 hidden villages are even more terrifying than Sanagakure. Because Sanagakure, known as the Strong Wind Shadow, 3rd Kazekage, had disappeared before the war. And Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village's 3rd Tsuchikage and 3rd Raikage are all terrifying powerhouses with the same reputation as Konoha's 3rd Hokage. What frightens everyone in Konoha most is Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village, each with 2 Jinchuriki. On the battlefield, a Jinchuriki can top several shadow-class powerhouses. The destructive power can be said to be extremely terrifying, and it is a terrorist war weapon that can change the situation of the battle. A tailed beast bomb, if no one is defended, can turn hundreds of ninjas into ashes. In the decisive battle with Iwagakure this time, although Mr. Yu Saiga and Mr. Tsunade were in the battle, everyone in Konoha was still very heavy. Iwagakure gathered tens of thousands of rock shinobi. The military strength alone is nearly twice that of Konoha. Let alone whether Konoha can win this war. As an ordinary member of Konoha, they are likely to suffer heavy casualties. After all, on the battlefield, even the elite Jonin did not dare to say that he would definitely survive. Not to mention them. So Konoha's minds are still very heavy. But no one thought that in the big battle of tens of thousands of ninjas in the 2 great ninja villages, Lord Yu once again showed everyone what the terrifying power of the no-one attack on the ninja is. With one slash, thousands of rock shinobi bones are gone. With another slash, 3rd generation Onoki and 5 tails were seriously injured and dying. Iwagakure, it was defeated. Konoha's loss was only in the hundreds of casualties at the time of the battle. Such an exaggerated battle loss ratio was something Konoha had never expected. Being able to return to Konoha village almost unscathed, made many Konoha's ninjas feel like they were dreaming. Looking at the figure in front of the team, the color of awe in his eyes became more intense. Crunch, crunch. Konoha's team didn't move toward Konoha very quickly. Mainly because of the mountain of wine. This is the entire Iwagakure, including the wines that have been stored for countless years by major families. The number alone is a terrifying number. But everyone in Konoha didn't complain at all, and carefully transported these fine wines. And at the forefront of Konoha's team, Yu, this is the game I specially serve for you. Minato held a few rare wild game in his hands, with a bright smile on his face. Master Yu, wait for a while to cook, and use our secret barbecue ingredients from the Nara and Akamichi clan to ensure your satisfaction. Nara Luju on the side also said with a smile on his face politely. Mimura Hamaki and other Konoha elites on the side twitched their mouths as they watched Minato and Lugia's dog-licking appearance. Thinking that Minato and Shikajiu are also Konoha's famous characters, they turned out to be such a face. It's shameful. Mimura Hamaki and others cursed sourly in their hearts. In fact, they also really want to be Yu-Yu's licking dog. But unfortunately, they don't have as good a relationship with Yu as Minato and Luju. For Yu, they are actually afraid and afraid. Didn't you see the Lois and Old Purple of Iwagakure? Yu-Sama was really dissatisfied with a word, so he beat people to death. What if they say something wrong and irritate Yu-Sama? So for Minato and Lugia's behavior, they can only curse them shamefully, while a little bit sour envy. Slap. Slap. At this moment, Yu shivered suddenly, and the scabbard in his hand twitched Minato and Lugia's arms. Of course, armament hockey was useless. However, the sudden pain caused the corners of Minato and Lugia's mouth to twitch. You two smile, can you not be so disgusting? Yu shuddered and said cursingly. Minato and Luju looked at each other, a little helpless. Was their smile just now disgusting? Then, the two of them looked at each other and smiled, and then there was a sudden chill. It seems to be disgusting. Say if you have something to say, and let it go if you have a fart. Yu watched the two of them hesitate to speak, and said angrily. Sure enough, Yu can't hide it from you. Minato and Luju suddenly exclaimed and showed bright smiles. But when he saw Yu's face was cold, he raised the scabbard and quickly reduced his smile. You also know that, although my Flying Thunder God technique is fast, its lethality is very ordinary. Minato said with a distressed expression on his face. Flying Thunder God technique, as the space-time ninjutsu researched by Second Mizukage, can be said to be extremely terrifying. Minato with Flying Thunder God technique can be said to be invincible. But apart from Flying Thunder God technique, Minato has no attack ninjutsu to match. It can only be reduced to the point where the enemy's life is terminated with kunai. For enemies who do not understand this ninjutsu, it can indeed be a fatal blow. But now, the reputation of Yellow Flash is getting louder and louder. Almost everyone in the ninja world knows the horror of his Flying Thunder God technique. Therefore, every time I see him, I am very defensive. For example, Earth-style ninjas can use Earth-style in advance to petrify their vital points. So the lack of attack power has always been an issue for Minato. How good would it be if there was a ninjutsu that could match Flying Thunder God technique? Minato has been looking forward to it. But it is a pity, because the speed of Flying Thunder God technique is really too fast, so the speed of ninjutsu release is also very harsh. First of all, ninjutsu cannot have Indian style. After all, to kill the enemy on the battlefield, Flying Thunder God technique can be activated dozens of times in 1 second. Even if it is a ninjutsu for one seal, it is impossible to make dozens of seals in 1 second, right? But ninjutsu needs to be activated with Jia-yin, which is almost inevitable. So Minato has been very distressed all the time. But looking at Minato has never seen Yu make a seal. Coupled with Yu's genius, Minato places this hope on Yu. Seeing Yu's casual wave, it was a terror attack comparable to Tailed Beast Bomb. Minato was really envious. Minato doesn't need to be able to reach the level of Yu, but only needs to be able to penetrate most of the defensive ninjutsu level, which is very satisfying. Unfortunately, Minato was unfortunately lost to the lucky Azuki Aozora in this action to snatch good wine. In addition, Konoha's war is not over, and Cloud Shinobi Village needs to be resolved. Therefore, Minato can only be cheeky and come to beg Yu. Oh? Want me to help you design an offensive ninjutsu? Yu grinned. Yes, can you? Minato looked worried. To be honest, although you have a good relationship with Yu, who is Yu? That's a character who even robbed the Lord Third Hokage. Every time Master Third Hokage wants Yu to do something, Yu has to be skinned. Yu is a good drink, but Minato is just a civilian ninja, and there is no special good drink in the house. The few bottles were all given to Yu by the village because of their military exploits and some supplies. So if Yu makes some requests, Minato is really afraid that he can't get them out. Seeing that you have beaten me game so many times, let me teach it to you. Yu looked at Minato's nervous eyes and said indifferently. Anyway, Rasengan Minato will have to study it sooner or later, so it's better to give it to him first. After all, with Rasengan, a lot of rough-skinned game, Minato is also more handy. Really? Minato said in surprise, with a face of disbelief. From Yu words, he heard two meanings. One is that Yu is willing to teach herself, and the other is that Yu already has a ninjutsu that suits her. Difficult. Has Yu been quietly helping me prepare? Minato suddenly reacted, thinking of the only possibility. After all, it's okay to say that everyone knows that you want Yu to teach him ninjutsu. He must have quietly prepared for himself, waiting for himself to win the jackpot, and then teaching himself. Thank you. Minato's face was moved suddenly. Pop. Don't disgust me with this smile. You bastard, I tell you, after teaching you will give me game for a lifetime, you know? Seeing Minato's expression, Yu immediately flicked Minato with the scabbard in irritation, and then cursed. Minato was smoked, but also wry smiles again and again. As for game, Minato didn't refute, because of what happened last time, he owed the game that he could pay for almost half his life. Coupled with this ninjutsu, playing game for a lifetime, it seems to have said the past. Right. Minato was lost in thought. What about you? What's the matter? Yu looked at Lu Ju on the side and asked. I want to ask Master Yu about the tactics you used in this war. Lu Ju gave a dry cough and said, strategy? Yu looked awkward. In Yu's cognition, making tactics is a weak act. Yu believes in pushing everything flat with a knife in your hand. Anyone who dared to stop in front of him would cut him off with a single knife. Where is the strategy used? Yu refused on the spot. Master Yu, our Nara clan has a unique medicinal liquor. Although I can't say that the taste is comparable to that of Daming House, it has a different taste. Master Yu is an experienced wine taster, so I would like to invite Master Yu to visit the Nara clan to give us some advice on the medicinal wine of the Nara clan. Lu Ju said with a smile on his face. The Konoha elites around, including Minato, heard Lujia's words, and their mouths twitched. Shameless. Everyone screamed in their hearts. Also flatter Yu is a wine taster. Konoha, who doesn't know that Yu-Sama drinks by box? Even the most precious wine, in Yu-Sama's mouth, is a bottle of sip. Do you call this wine tasting? Give your opinion on the medicinal wine of the Nara clan? Shit. Obviously, I want to use your Nara clan's medicinal liquor to bribe Master Yu. Oh, you are very discerning, Lu Ju. My ability to taste fine wines can be said to be the best in the ninja world. Fortunately, I will give you a face, go to taste the medicinal wine of your Nara clan, and give you advice. When Yu heard Lu Ju's words, he swallowed and said with a big smile. This time, even Tsunade's red lips twitched. What? Lu Ju said, are you serious? Just when you see the wine and just pour a bottle into your stomach, is that called wine tasting? Obviously alcoholism. Lu Ju also twitched the corners of his mouth. I just said something about it, but I didn't expect Yu to take it seriously. Then I am waiting for Master Yu's arrival. Lu Ju sorted out his expression and said with a smile on his face. The road after that was smooth, and a few days later, Konoha's outline was already in sight. And at the entrance of Konoha's village, all the members of the elders have been waiting here for a long time. They looked at the horizon, eager to see through. Come on. When seeing the outline of Konoha's team slowly appearing from the horizon, the eyes of these elders who were about to fall into the soil, burst into red light one after another. Konoha, the gate. Konoha today is particularly lively. Konoha defeated Iwagakure in the Rock Shinobi battlefield. Yu-Sama led Konoha's ninjas and hit the door of Iwagakure's house. This time Konoha won a complete victory in the war with Iwagakure. Today is the day when the Rock Shinobi frontline troops returned to Konoha, so at the village gate, the villagers wanted to come to see Konohaga's spin troops. But the most eye-catching is the dozen figures at the forefront. Each of these dozen figures was dressed in primitive clothes, with vicissitudes and white hair all over his face. They are the members of the Konoha elders who have the most power in the Konoha master. I saw these elders who walked slowly on weekdays, half of their bodies seemed to have fallen into the soil, and their faces were all red at this moment. The old eyes stared at the horizon, full of greed. Even Udatane Kaharu, who has always been stinking, is smiling and looking forward to it. This time Konoha won the most complete victory since the first ninja war. Iwagakure, who fought, was forced to let the daimyofu of the country of soil mediate. Because of the backing of the 5 great nations and the insufficiency of the ninja village itself, it is unlikely that the 5 great ninja villages will be completely eliminated. However, whether Iwagakure is destroyed or not is not important to these Konoha elders. The important thing is that Konoha's war reparations are about to arrive. This time, because they had won such a complete victory, they were also open to the lion. The requested resources are enough for each of them and their family to eat. And what the elders like Konoha expected was that when they first made these requests, they really didn't expect Sarutobi Hiruzen to agree to these requests. Generally speaking, discussing the issue of war reparations is a very time-consuming task. After all, the needs of each person and each family are different. What they put forward is naturally a resource that is beneficial to their family's needs. Unexpectedly, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not refute these requirements and agreed directly. This is simply beyond their expectations. Although it feels something is wrong, in the face of such a huge amount of resources, their eyes have been filled with resources. So early in the morning, these elders were waiting here, eager to see Konohagai's team spinning. Crunch, crunch, at this moment, Konohagai's spinning team slowly appeared from the horizon. Coming. A Konoha elder suddenly burst into a greedy red light in his old eyes. Staring at the horizon, when I saw the big cars covered with cloth in the Konoha team, the ecstasy in my eyes reached ultimate. Sarutobi Saiga did a good job this time. For the first time, Udatane Kaharu Sima's face was filled with a thick smile, and he said to the strange-looking Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although their Konoha elders made so many demands, Udatane Kaharu thought that it would take a long time to negotiate with Iwagakure to get the result because the conditions were very harsh. Unexpectedly, it was so smoothly that these materials were transported back to Konoha within a few days. Danzo on the side, hearing Udatane Kaharu's words, his mouth twitched, but he didn't say anything strange. After all, many of these supplies belong to him. Chimu forget it this time, I will find a chance later. Danzo thought viciously. With this batch of resources, he can cultivate many elites from the roots. And Chimu there is the existence of 5 tails Jinchuriki. I must seize my hand. At that time, having 5 tails in a new generation of root elites will make Chimu look good sooner or later. At that time, kill Chimu with the resources Chimu has regained with painstaking efforts, that's really. Danzo trembled with excitement just thinking about it. This time really did a great job, and I have to reward him. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the ecstasy on the faces of the members of the elders, his horns twitched, and his expression was very strange. Then he gave a dry cough and said with a smile on his face. At this time, Udatane Kaharu, Danzo and others stopped talking. Chimu after this battle, can be said to be the greatest battle achievement in history since Konoha established the village. Alone, Sanagakure retired from the army. Almost with his own power, he led Konoha Rock Shinobi's frontline troops to defeat Iwagakure and force Iwagakure to make peace. This kind of credit, even Konoha's White Fang, who was involved in the Second Ninja World War, has never done it. With such a great contribution, under Sarutobi Hiruzen's intentional publicity, has become Konoha's hot hero. If you really reward Chimu for such a terrible combat exploit, what kind of reward is appropriate? Is it necessary to give Captain Anbu, or simply give him the position of Hokage's assistant? How is it possible? If this is the case, it would greatly weaken the power in their hands. So Chimu military exploits, these days, the members of the elders cannot mention it. There is no such thing. As they thought, that was to let Chimu enjoy a heroic reputation. As for the position, they also discussed it privately. When the time comes, they will jointly say that Chimu is still young, so it will be postponed. After all, if you are too young, you will suddenly rise to the top, and Chimu future will be unfavorable. Of course, the fact is that they don't want Chimu to enter Konoha's core lair. Afterwards, Zimu suppression strategy has already been put on the agenda. Only after the war was over, and after they slowly faded down Chimu heroic deeds, they started to work. Just like the original, Konoha's White Fang. Time, it's a wonderful thing. Udatane Kaharu looked at the approaching team, his old face smiling like a chrysanthemum. Think that Konoha's White Fang was also a resounding character? Up to now, how many people in Konoha know the heroic deeds of Konoha's White Fang? Isn't it all the shameless history of Konoha's White Fang, because the mission failed to save his companions and then committed suicide? Chimu this will be the end. But for now, first give this hero a face. Chimu you have worked hard. Udatane Kaharu squeezed a smile, and then the Konoha elders with red eyes greeted him, but his eyes were fixed on the big cars with steps. Which bastard are you? Before Udatane Kaharu could finish speaking, a curse made the smile on Udatane Kaharu's face freeze. Konoha, the entrance of the village. Which bastard are you? Udatane Kaharu's smile froze when he heard Konohagai's curse from the front of the team. Then, the whole old face became extremely dark. What did she hear? Own, Konoha's senior consultant, one of Konoha's four. Regarding the size of power, it can be said that Konoha is the largest except for Sarutobi Hiruzen, Naruto. It can be said that it has secured the second place in the Konoha Power Center. Since the death of second Hokage and Sarutobi Hiruzen took over as Hokage, she has been in Konoha's core power. It is no exaggeration to say that it is under one person and over 10,000 people. In addition, he was born in a wealthy family since he was a child, and he was pampered. Where did Udatain Kaharu ever hear such vulgar abuse? It's still at the entrance of Konoha village, under the crowd. This is simply slap her old face. I am not a bastard, I am Konoha's senior consultant, Udatain Kaharu. Taking a deep breath, today, after all, is the day when Konoha's frontline unit guy spins. And Chimuyu, as the biggest hero who defeated Iwagakure, can't turn his face with him at this time. For the sake of these supplies, don't care about you. Udatain Kaharu's face was dark, and he kept comforting himself in his heart. But the heart is already cruel, this matter is endless. At that time, she must make Chimuyu look good. Udatain Kaharu. This name is so familiar. Yu frowned when he heard the name, eyes full of drunkenness. On this road, with so many fine wines, Yu had a refreshing drink. Going back to Konoha, Yu felt that everyone had a ghost image. Udatain Kaharu's complexion improved a bit when he heard the words, and then he kept a cold face, waiting for Chimuyu's apology. After all, in Udatain Kaharu's thoughts, it was Saiga Yu who didn't know his identity just now. Knowing who you are, can't you apologize to yourself in fear? Old bastard, what are you doing here while licking your old face? Be careful I cut you off. Stay away. Yu was thinking, then looked up at the face of Sima in front of him and cursed. Udatain Kaharu was waiting for Yu to apologize, but he was stunned by Yu's words. Asshole. This is Udatain Kaharu. Kang. You. An elder Konoha of the Udatain Kaharu line was furious and was about to swear on the spot. As soon as the black light flashed, he saw a black and purple long knife on his neck. Suddenly, the cold sweat flowed down. Looking at the eyes of the person in front of him, he really felt that he would be hacked to death in the next second. Where are the old miscellaneous hairs? Get out of me quickly. Yu looked around. All he saw were old faces half-lengthed into the soil, and he scolded on the spot. After spending so long in the rock shinobi battlefield, Yu just wanted to store all these wines, then take a good bath, and get a good night's sleep under the massage of Hong and Lin and Shizune. As a result, before Konoha entered, a bunch of old miscellaneous hairs stood in front of him. I didn't cut it directly, it was because Yu was happy drinking on the road, and I was in a good mood. Otherwise, these old guys can directly choose a cemetery for themselves. Old miscellaneous. The many elders of Konoha were taken aback when they heard Yu's words, and then their faces were black and scary. Who are they? The group of elders at the apex of Konoha's power. Even the elite Jonin is just a tool driven by them. They are located at the apex of Konoha, high above them. They were scolded by this bastard in public for their old miscellaneous hairs? Danzo, who was a few steps behind, had a cold face when he heard Yu's words. He really knows Chimuyu too well. Danzo has not tasted good fruits since the confrontation with Chimuyu. Especially Chimuyu's mouth is extremely poisonous. Every time I was half dead by anger. So this time, he fell behind several steps. But unexpectedly, he was injured by mistake. Chimuyu, are you going to rebel? Puff. An elder trembled, and Yu was about to yell. As a result, the words were not finished yet, only a black light flashed, and a deep knife edge appeared on the man's old face. Although the cut is not fatal, where did he, who has always been pampered, suffered such an injury? Screamed on the spot. You are so shameless. I think you are spies from other villages, right? Yu was in a good mood and was about to chop with Chusui. Yes, Yu, don't do it, they are from Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen was so scared that he almost fainted. He does have the heart to watch the theater, after all, these elders are always against himself these days. As a result, Yu is so fierce. People will stand in front of you, and if you say a few words, you will cut them down. If you let Yu chop off all the elders, it will be a big trouble. Diaresis old man. Give me an explanation. What do these old bastards mean here? Before Sarutobi Hiruzen could speak, Yu asked cursingly. Sarutobi Hiruzen almost didn't spit out a mouthful of old blood. You almost cut off the Konoha elders, and you have to question yourself? Sarutobi, is this the Chimu Uyu educated? Udatane Kaharu looked at the chaotic scene, with a dark face, and shouted at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Ah, Uyu is just a little drunk, elders, Uyu has made great achievements in battle. Are you going to be so angry because of these little things? Isn't this the broad-mindedness of everyone? Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched. Although it was a bit blamed for Uyu to cause trouble to himself, Sarutobi Hiruzen had nothing to say while protecting the calf. Said with a dry cough. Is this a trivial matter? Chimu Uyu is going to kill us. An elder of Konoha roared. Some village elders are serious, Uyu just made a joke with you all. Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled faintly. A joke? Look at Elder Inoue. What's wrong with Elder Underground? Did you elders wake up? Before the elders continued to roar and question, only a faint voice sounded. When the elders heard the words, they saw Tsunade-ji standing there with a faint smile on his face, and the elder Inoue who was cut by Uyu on the side was extremely smooth, and there was no trace of a scar. The elders looked at Tsunade's hands twitchingly, the chakra fluctuations that had not completely dissipated, their whole bodies trembled. Do you think we are idiots? Konoha, the entrance of the village. Elders, maybe you haven't woken up yet. Look at the spirit of Elder Inoue. Tsunade dissipated chakra from his hand and smiled faintly. The elders Konoha stared blankly at the elder Inoue who was cut by Uyu. I saw an incomparable light on his face. Slippery, even more delicate than his previous skin. As for the knife edge, it is impossible to find even the slightest trace. And beside the sluggish elder Inoue, Tsunade was standing there with a faint smile on his face. And Tsunade's hands still have chakra fluctuations. Tsunade, do you think we are stupid? The corners of the elders' mouths twitched, and their hands tremblingly pointed at Tsunade. They didn't expect Tsunade to play this hand with them. When they turned their eyes to Chimu Uyu and Sarutobi Hiruzen, the wound on Elder Inoue's face was healed. When they are all Alzheimer's, don't you remember that you were the #1 medical ninja in the ninja world? Elders, I don't understand what you mean, Tsunade said with a faint smile. You took advantage of our carelessness and healed Elder Inoue's injury. Do you treat us as dementia? An elder was really furious and roared. Speaking as for evidence, do you have evidence? Tsunade said faintly with an expression of, you are Alzheimer's. With Tsunade's appearance, the angry elder flushed, and he almost fainted. Tsunade, there are so many people here, everyone has witnessed everything just now, Konoha's many ninjas can attest. Udatane Kaharu's face was somber and scary, and he said somberly. The physical evidence has been destroyed, but there is still evidence. With so many Konoha shinobi players present, Uyu Saiga don't want to take the opportunity to pass by. The crime of slashing the elder is enough to offset all of Chimu Uyu's exploits and even imprison him. Halfway through the conversation, Udatane Kaharu turned to look at the thousands of Konoha shinobi troops, wanting them to prove it. The weather today is really good. Yeah. Look at how beautiful this flower is. At this glance, Udatane Kaharu almost didn't get angry. I saw all the ninjas of Konoha are looked up at the sky and discussed the weather. Or looked down at the flowers, incarnations become professional flower viewers. It looked like, I didn't see anything. Konoha is not stupid, what can you do to offend these elders? There are thousands of Konoha shinobi here. The so-called law does not blame the public, and there are so many ninjas from the secret art family and the blood succession boundary family. What can these elders do with them? But what if you offend Master Uyu? Check out Sanagakure and Iwagakure. Their memorial monuments can no longer be carved. Consultant, is there anything else? Tsunade looked at Udatane Kaharu who was half dead, and said with a faint smile. You. Udatane Kaharu trembled with anger, pointed at Tsunade and Sarutobi Hiruzen, her lips trembled, and she couldn't speak for a while. Well, you guys, it's a decent way to stop here, let our hero go back to Konoha quickly. Sarutobi Hiruzen said suddenly. This sentence made it clear that Chimu Uyu is the hero of Konoha, and all the elders' beards were blown and stared. But they have yet to refute it. After all, the reason why Konoha was able to achieve such a complete victory this time, Chimu Uyu absolutely occupied an absolute role. This, even if they always like to reverse black and white, they can't deny it. But this is too bullying, right? Chimu Uyu at the Konoha gate, in front of thousands of Konoha elites, called their elders group, old miscellaneous hairs. He even attacked an elder. This is a provocation to these high-ranking elders. If this matter is left alone, how can they guarantee that they are the authority of the elders? All the elders looked at Udatane Kaharu. Among them, Udatane Kaharu is their absolute core figure. At the same time, Udatane Kaharu enjoys the greatest power. Now, it's time for this central figure to come forward and negotiate with Sarutobi Hiruzen. Chi Mu absolutely can't be merciless. The elders used their eyes to assist, but when they saw Udatane Kaharu looking at them and beckoning them to speak together, they suddenly turned off. To be honest, these old-fashioned arms and legs are really a bit embarrassing to Chi Mu. Look at that posture, it's a lunatic who wants to drink too much. They are distinguished, how can they care about this lunatic? But it was really hard to swallow this breath. So, turn to the consultant, it's up to you. Udatane Kaharu felt the gazes of many elders, and his expression was gloomy. As the core figure of the elders group, since she has enjoyed the most power. So when things happen, she naturally needs to come forward. Moreover, she was scolded by Chi Mu the most just now. The elders were also scolded by the old miscellaneous hairs, but she couldn't raise her head because the bastard said the old bastard on the left and the shameless scolding on the right. If you just let Chi Mu go, how can she claim that she is sitting on Konoha's second top spot? Taking a deep breath, Udatane Kaharu's belly has written 10 sins of Saiga Uyu. Today, she is going to imprison this bastard. Sarutobi, we are the elders, and Chi Mu is absolutely unforgivable for such insulting us. This time, Chi Mu has 10 crimes, woo. Udatane Kaharu turned his head and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, with a gloomy expression and began to make trouble. But before he finished speaking, a whistling sound passed by behind him. A jet-black scabbard, covering armament hockey, was slammed on the back of Udatane Kaharu's head. Pop. There was a loud noise, and Minato and Lugia's teeth were aching. Yu does sometimes draw them with a scabbard. But that didn't cover that mysterious energy. Although it is a bit painful, it is mostly joking. As for why the pain is joking, look at the old Z and Han beside them. Old Z and Han trembled all over when they saw this scene and heard the familiar sound. This kind of pain is still fresh in their memory. It's a nightmare. Even they, who have been through the battlefield and shed countless blood for Iwagakure, are afraid of it. Lao Z is willing to become Yuyu's firework machine. This kind of pain is more terrible than death. Bang. Udatane Kaharu only felt a sharp pain in his bone marrow in the back of his head. Then the eyes went dark, and he slammed on the ground in a posture of a dog eating shit. Suddenly, only a bloody smell came, and the old face was broken. What a shameless old miscellaneous hair. Yu cursed, he didn't make a move just now, it was for the sake of the wine. After all, he couldn't fit such a huge amount of fine wine in that little room. Still have to blackmail the old man and ask him for a special warehouse. Therefore, since the old man has spoken, he has given a bit of face. But this does not mean that Yuyu's temper has changed. This old immortal, who has been babbling for so long here, has delayed his own affairs and ruined his good mood. Now you still want to talk about your own guilt? If you don't shit today, it's so special, you're clean. Under everyone's stunned gaze, Yu picked up the scabbard and yanked the shameless old miscellaneous hair in front of him. Swish, 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 flap, pop, pop. The jet-black scabbard turned into afterimages, which fell on Udatane Kaharu's body like raindrops. Ah! Suddenly, screams rang out. This senior consultant who has always been aloof and regarded himself as Konoha's second person, at this moment, is like a dead dog, being beaten fiercely. The pain that went deep into the bone marrow made Udatane Kaharu's mind blank for a moment. The 10 sins of Chi Mu that was just compiled, had long been ignorant of where he was going, and could only scream. Yes, Yu, don't fight, I'm going to kill you. Sarutobi Hiruzen originally saw Udatane Kaharu in a trouble, but he was ready to refute. It turned out that what he said in his stomach was simply doing useless work. Because he was talking, everyone in front of him was gone. Although Udatane Kaharu, like him, is the disciple of second Hokage, Senju Tobarama, he was close to Shadow when he was young. But because as Konoha's senior consultant, he has been in a high position for many years, and his strength has long been decayed in power. With the scabbards of Yu taken off, even the elite Jonin couldn't stand it. Just Udatane Kaharu, who has old arms and legs, will really be beaten to death after a few more strokes. Ape, Sarutobi, save me. At this time, Udatane Kaharu, the air intake that has been hit has become less. But hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's cry, it seemed that he had caught the last straw, and quickly screamed for help. I saw that Udatane Kaharu was covered in dust at this time, and his old face was full of scratches and blood. This is because she was beaten by Yu to eat shit just now. Her old face twitched violently because of the pain, extremely hideous. At this moment, Udatane Kaharu, Where is Konoha's senior advisor, the second person in Konoha's power? It's almost like an old dog about to be beaten to death. Old man, don't stop me, I haven't gotten hooked yet. Yu looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen in front of him with a little dissatisfaction. Sarutobi Hiruzen was relieved to see Yu still show his face. When I heard Yu's words, I almost didn't come up. How many hits did it take? Utatane Kaharu already has less air intake and more air out. If it makes you enjoy the game, you don't need to open the show to welcome the hero guy spin today. You can go directly to the memorial monument and miss Utatane Kaharu's consultant deeply. Kaharu, are you okay? Where's the medical ninja? Mitokado Homura hugged Utatane Kaharu quickly, looked at the scratches and blood on his face, and kept whispering in pain, and quickly roared. Consultant, are you okay? Medical ninja, come on. Many elders Konoha saw that Yu was stopped by Sarutobi Hiruzen, and their faces were suddenly full of worry and panic, and they stepped forward to care about Utatane Kaharu. This, Chimu Yu. Danzo was behind, and the corner of his mouth twitched fiercely. He really didn't expect Chimu Yu to be so tyrannical. It's so cruel. In this large court, Utatane Kaharu was beaten directly like a dog. That posture and Utatane Kaharu's screams all proved that Yu Seiki really beat Utatane Kaharu to death. Danzo at this moment is extremely grateful. Fortunately, he left an eye on him and didn't go to find Chimu Yu's fault. Otherwise Danzo has no doubts, now he was hit on the ground, but it was himself. Although his strength is not bad, who is Chimu Yu? That was killing the entire Sanagakure alone. Fighting against 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki and 5 Tails alone on the Rock Shinobi battlefield, terrifying monsters that severely damaged them all. Although Danzo is arrogant, Onoki still knows too well. He is definitely not Onoki's opponent, so if you meet Yu, Danzo has no doubt that he will definitely be hung up and beaten by Chimu Yu. And the end will definitely be more miserable than Utatane Kaharu. The reason is simple, Utatane Kaharu is not strong enough, so Sarutobi will stop Yu Seiki soon. If you change to yourself, that bastard Sarutobi will wait for Seiki Yu to beat him half to death before he stops him. Danzo shuddered unconsciously at the thought of being beaten to death by Chimu Yu in the crowd. Then he took 2 steps back unconsciously, as if this would make him safer. Wait. Suddenly, Danzo trembled all over, and quickly looked at the heavy carts in the Konoha returning team. Chimu Yu who is? That was a brutal figure who dared to beat Utatane Kaharu in public, dared to curse at himself before, and even slashed at himself with a knife. Would such a person really obey the orders of their elders and ask Iwagakure for those supplies? Yu's posture of beating Utatane Kaharu seems to have also awakened Danzo, who was full of resources before. Danzo looked at the big cars with a gloomy expression, with an ominous premonition. Konoha, the entrance of the village. Now there is a mess here. Sitting firmly on Konoha's second place in power, one of Konoha's 4 people, senior consultant Utatane Kaharu, was extremely embarrassed at this time. I saw that his entire old face was covered with scratches and blood, and it looked very hideous. Every time I breathed, I seemed to try my best, twitching my whole body from time to time, as if I was suffering from unbearable pain. And a medical ninja sweating profusely is giving Utatane Kaharu treatment. Elder turned to bed. Are you okay? Medical ninja, how about the transfer elder? The elders around were eager and worried. But they didn't dare to question the culprit who made Utatane Kaharu so miserable. Of course. Those who have been in a high position for many years are arguably the most life-saving. Utatane Kaharu was also a strong man at any rate, even if his strength was severely degraded, his foundation was still there. Even so, a few hits by Chimu Yu still have less air intake and more air out. If you change to them, it is estimated that you can go directly to the memorial monument. In the face of the cruel Yu, these elders were persuaded. Call. The chakra in the hands of the medical ninja slowly dissipated, wiping the sweat from his forehead. There is no life-threatening elder who goes to bed, but it may take 3 months to 6 months to be in bed to recover, and there may be sequelae, if it is not possible to recover for 3 months to 6 months. This medical ninja can be said to be dedicated to these elders. Medical ninjutsu even ranks in the top 5 in Konoha. At this moment, his face was solemn, and his lips trembled and said. In the process of treatment, he discovered a very special kind of energy. This kind of energy can actually eat away at his chakra, making the healing process extremely difficult. Moreover, the injuries on Utatane Kaharu's body are very strange. These lashing injuries seem to have penetrated into Utatane Kaharu's bone marrow. No. It was even more difficult to treat, as if hitting her essence, causing indelible injuries. And the injuries from the lashing were mainly concentrated on the back and lumbar spine. Even if you can recover in the future, there will be great sequelae. In short, it is impossible to walk as fast as before. Yes, what if it can't be recovered? Udatain Kaharu at this time, his complexion pale, whereas the predominant and domineering appearance before. Elders who go to bed may need the help of a wheelchair. The medical ninja didn't dare to speak directly, and tried to speak as euphemistically as possible. Boom. It was like a thunder that exploded in Udatain Kaharu's mind. She is not a fool. Need the help of a wheelchair, doesn't it mean that she is at risk of paralysis? Suddenly, Udatain Kaharu felt black in front of his eyes, and the intense stimulation coupled with the constant pain caused Udatain Kaharu's neck to crooked and fainted. Kaharu. Turning to bed consultant. Suddenly, the group of elders became a mess. Yes, Uyu, are you a bit too heavy to start? On the other side, hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen judged by the medical ninja, he looked at Uyu with trembling lips and said, "This is troublesome. Uyu is at risk of paralyzing Udatain Kaharu. You know, Udatain Kaharu has a deep connection with Daimyofu, the country of fire, and it has a very deep root in Konoha. If she really does whatever it takes to deal with Uyu, that would be enough for her own headache. That old miscellaneous hair can't help but fight. Look at this red-haired bastard. I have fought so many times, don't you still live and live?" Uyu cursed dissatisfiedly, pointed to Lao Zi on the side and said. Hearing this, old Z twitched the corners of his mouth, then lowered his head. So, are you boasting yourself or cursing yourself? And do you have a wrong understanding of your own attack power? I can live alive now, because the tailed beast chakra helped me recover from his injuries. Otherwise, no matter how good your health is, you would have been beaten to the hospital long ago. A black shadow fell fiercely on Lao Zi's body, grinning his teeth. Who do you show with a bitter face? Smile to me. Uyu said cursingly. The corner of Lao Zi's mouth twitched. It's too special to be human. Lao Zi screamed in his heart, but what could he do? The four tails in his body is now facing Chimu Uyu can be said to be a mouse meeting a cat. If Chimu Uyu said a word and didn't let four tails lend chakra to himself, then under Chimu Uyu's tyranny, he would be beaten to death sooner or later. Hey. Lao Zi suddenly pulled out a big smile, with a very happy expression on my face. The Han who looked at him shuddered all over his body. It's really cruel. You are? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Lao Zi, feeling very familiar, frowning and thinking. It's Four Tails Jinchuriki, old Z. Tsunade on the side said with a faint smile. Four tails? Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched. He remembered. Four Tails Jinchuriki is a famous figure in the ninja world. Because of the existence of lava style, Lao Zi is undoubtedly Iwagakure's most terrifying war machine. The escape technique of lava is too terrifying on the battlefield. Because of this, Lao Zi has made great military exploits for Iwagakure and is famous in the ninja world. Moreover, I have played against Konoha, and Sarutobi Hiruzen has personally seen a lot of information about Lao Zi. This person, stubborn, cold and arrogant, is an out-and-out killing machine. On Konoha's information scroll, Lao Zi was introduced in this way. But looking at the old Z, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt his entire face start to twitch. Do you call this person Lang Ao's killing machine? Uyu, what did you do? Can actually tame Four Tails Jinchuriki like this? It is incredible. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked incredible. Old man, look back and see how you haven't seen the world before. Tsunade waved his hand in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes, interrupting Sarutobi Hiruzen's shock. Where is this? If Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Lao Zi's unique fireworks display, wouldn't he just pass out? What a barren imagination. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the bragging smile on his disciple's face with a burst of irritation. Show off. Kai Guoguo's show off. My own disciple, now he really turned his elbow out. But thinking of Tsunade's treatment of Elder Inoue just now, the corners of his mouth twitched. This disciple of my own was not like that before, but now he really has learned from Uyu. Okay, old man, stop talking here, hurry up and ship all these wines back to me. By the way, I have to find a special warehouse suitable for storing these wines. Uyu waved his hand, looking impatient. Don't you just beat up an old miscellaneous Harry? I didn't cut her down, I had already saved face for the old man. Now Uyu, I just want to go back to get a good night's sleep under the massage of Hong, Lin and Shizune. Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched. Uyu stunned Udatain Kaharu directly. Seeing Uyu's appearance, he didn't take it seriously. Now I am still thinking about these wines of yours. It's really big. I see, hurry up and follow me. Sarutobi Hiruzen also wanted to take Yu out of here. After all, the people behind them have already noticed something wrong. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who knows Yu's character well, is actually already prepared. In order to prevent accidents, he has allowed his direct line Anbu to be on guard around him. As soon as Yu took the shot, Sarutobi Hiruzen let the Anbus perform illusions, so that the people did not see the scene here. After all, directly assaulting Utatane Kaharu, who is a senior, is really detrimental to Yu's image. For fishing vessels, it is not easy to control. I'm leaving. Give me a good view of these wines, if you spill a drop. Yu looked at the people behind Konoha and said loudly. Yes. Lord Yu. Konoha's countenances were all serious, and then they responded loudly. Crunch, crunch, the cart full of fine wine was slowly pushed. Be careful. Be careful. Everyone in Konoha carefully protected the wine in the car, like the most precious thing in the world. At this time, they dare not slack in the slightest. Utatane Kaharu. Many of them know each other. Even if they don't know each other, they know that it is Konoha's senior. For such a person, Lord Yu made a mistake and beat him to death. These fine wines are all your favorites. If something goes wrong, then they, the lightest one, would go to Konoha Hospital. Illusion solution. The Anbus around, under the sign of Sarutobi Hiruzen, pinched their hands and whispered. Suddenly, a breeze blew by, and the Konoha people were shocked. Then, I saw the oncoming Konoha team. Roar, our Konoha heroes. Yu-sama, you are so handsome. Long live Lord Yu. Suddenly, the people of Konoha turned red and cheered. When Yu saw this scene, his face suddenly filled with a smile. Walking in the forefront, while waving his hands, he said some words of encouragement. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw a toothache. This brat is more like Hokage than him. The elders, looking at the Konoha team that accepted the cheers, messed up in the wind. Then, I trembled all over. Not only because of the anger of being humiliated by Yu, but also because the vehicles followed Konoha's team into Konoha village. What are our special resources? Why was it taken away by Chimu Yu? Counselor Mito, what is going on? What about our resources? An elder looked at Mitokado Homura with a gloomy expression and said angrily. Yeah, Consultant Mito, what the hell is going on? That's our thing. Suddenly, the members of these elders groups, all eyes were red, and they kept making noises. Shut up. Mitokado Homura's complexion became more and more ugly, and said angrily. Suddenly, the scene went down. Kaharu looks like this. Are you still full of resources? If you want to know the answer, ask Chimu Yu. Mitokado Homura said angrily. Ask him what's the matter. He still wants to know what's going on. Saiga Yu beat Utatane Kaharu half to death, and then, amidst Konoha's cheers, entered Konoha village. And those huge war reparations were also taken away by him. Things have turned into this. Mitokado Homura is a little confused now. These elders suddenly made no sound. Ask Chimu Yu for an explanation? It's not like looking for death. Look at Utatane Kaharu, is she not more distinguished than them? Is not stronger than them? The results of it. He had been beaten by Chimu Yu and passed out into a coma, even at risk of paralysis. For those with old arms and legs, what if you go to Chimu Yu for an explanation? They might be able to use the coffin board that has been prepared for many years in advance. Sarutobi, you have to give us an explanation for this matter. Suddenly, the elders watched Sarutobi Hiruzen return from Konoha, and said angrily. They dare not go to trouble with that lunatic, and dare not to trouble with you Sarutobi Hiruzen? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the red eyes of these elders, and the corners of his mouth twitched. Yu's stinky boy is cool, but he has to finish the matter. Explain. Explain what? Sarutobi Hiruzen sorted his thoughts and said stupidly. Don't be kidding. The transfer consultant was beaten directly by Chimu Yu and passed out, and the resources that should have belonged to us were also taken away by Chimu Yu. What is going on? An elder roared. You mean those big cars? Those are the fine wines Yu brought from Iwagakure. They belong to Yu himself. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a smile, liquor? Many elders were immediately confused, then only felt dizzy for a while. How did their huge resources become Chimu Yu's wine? What a joke. Iwagakure paid the price of 4 taels and 5 taels Jinchuriki for this war indemnity. Everyone, are there any questions? Before these elders were in trouble, Sarutobi Hiruzen said lightly, enter. Konoha, the entrance of the village. The elders fixedly looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. 4 tails and 5 tails. An elder's eyes were full of incredible color, and his lips trembled a little. The voice fell, and a sound of inhaling air conditioning sounded. The eyes of all the elders, including Mitokado Homura, were full of incredible colors. Among Konoha's senior leaders, only the 4 of Konoha knew about 5 tails being captured alive. The rest of the elders did not know about this. But the news of 4 tails was only known to Sarutobi Hiruzen, not to Mitokado Homura, Udatain Kaharu and Danzo. Everyone, do you have any questions? Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke with a faint smile on the corner of his mouth. That's why he didn't tell the news of 4 tails capture by Yu to the elders. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who knows Yu's character, blocked this news in order to prevent accidents. Throw it out at a critical moment, you can stop everyone's mouth. The elders looked at each other, their mouths opened, but they didn't know what to say. This is Jinchuriki. Since first Hokage Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara established Konoha Shinobi Village, the ninja community has responded. More ninja families in Sengoku have united and established other ninja villages. The most powerful ones are Iwagakure, Sanagakure, Kirigakure and Cloud Shinobi Village. Backed by the 5 great nations, the 5 hidden villages have become the most powerful war force in the ninja world. However, the strength of Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara is too terrifying. It can be said that one Senju Hashirama or Uchiha Madara is enough to sweep the ninja world. The Senju and Uchiha clan are also too scary. They are the 2 strongest families in the Sengoku period. And the strength far surpasses the rest of the ninja family. Therefore, during the Sengoku period, various countries fought wars. Wherever the Senju clan was present, the enemy country would hire the Uchiha clan to fight. Because only the Senju clan can fight against the Uchiha clan. And now, the 2 big families have merged into one, and many big families have joined the newly established Konoha. For example, the Sarutobi family, the Shimura family, the Nara family, the Yamanaka family, the Akamichi family, the Aburame family, the Hyuga family. This resulted in Konoha's strength at the time, enough to sweep the entire ninja world. Therefore, the ninja world at that time was not peaceful, and the other 4 ninja villages secretly united and wanted to fight Konoha together. War will break out at any time, and this outbreak is completely different from the way ninjas were hired to participate in wars between various countries during the Sengoku period. This will be the largest and most cruel war between ninjas ever. And first Hokage Senju Hashirama's wish is for peace in the ninja world. As a result, Senju Hashirama captured all the 9 big-tailed beasts scattered throughout the ninja world and distributed them to the remaining ninja villages. Jinchuriki was born. As for Iwagakure, the tail beasts that were assigned were 4 tails and 5 tails. Makes the various shinobu villages reach a superficial peace. But when Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara passed away, the balance in the ninja world was broken. Between the 5 great shinobu villages, his face was completely torn apart. Because of benefits, the First Ninja World War broke out. Jinchuriki stepped onto the stage of war. The terrifying Jinchuriki began to show his terrifying power as a war machine. In the war, even the shadows of the villages are far less destructive than Jinchuriki. One-tailed beast bomb can turn a radius of several kilometers into ruins. With this terrible trick, even if the shadow rank powerhouse has issued 3 or 4 notes, chakra will be drained. But because Jinchuriki is backed by the tailed beast chakra, it is almost a perpetual motion machine on the battlefield. Not tired, not knowing pain, only knowing killing. It's an out-and-out war machine. With the exception of Konoha's 9 tails, they are far superior to other tail beasts. The most famous on the battlefield is 4 tails Jinchuriki from Iwagakure. Because of the characteristics of 4 tails, lava style is too terrifying in war. The characteristics of lava can play the most powerful role in war. With these 2 terrifying war machines, 4 tails and 5 tails, Iwagakure's military strength has always been at the top of the ninja world. The reason why Cloud Shinobi Village fought with Iwagakure every time, it ended up defeating. In addition to the terrain of the Land of Earth, the 2 major Jinchuriki, 4 tails and 5 tails, are also the most critical factors. Now, these 2 Jinchuriki have been paid to Konoha by Iwagakure as war reparations. This made these elders unable to tell what was wrong. Because compared with the 2 Jinchuriki, those resources seem a little trivial. But what does Jinchuriki have to do with people like them? You don't need to think about it, these 2 Jinchuriki are things that only Konoha can get involved. And those resources are tangible benefits for them. They have been looking forward to it for so long, and have been waiting here early in the morning. As a result, Chimu Uyu was beaten and scolded again, and those resources were still flying. This kind of stimulation made some elders even a little crazy. But no way, the two major Jinchuriki, Chimu Yu, have already handed in the best answer. They have no way to single out Chimu Yuyus. In other words, they can only swallow this sulky breath. Then what about us being insulted by him? There is also the matter of the elder being beaten and disabled by the transfer to bed. Yes, this thing absolutely can't be forgotten. The elders were so angry that they changed the subject one after another, spitting angrily. As elders, what do you care about with a drunk kid? Doesn't this seem like you are narrow-minded? Sarutobi Hiruzen calmly spoke. Do not make jokes. When the elders heard this, they were immediately furious, and they all yelled at them. The elders, who are usually decent and tall, are like shrews at this time. Sarutobi, there must be an explanation for this matter, otherwise I will let the Da Mingfu preside over justice. Even Mitokado Homura's face was angry about to explode. According to Sarutobi Hiruzen, what about this matter? He and Utatane Kaharu, both Konoha's senior advisors, belong to an interest group. It's not an exaggeration to say that he is wearing a pair of pants. Now, Utatane Kaharu is severely wounded by Uyu Saiga, who is also hitting him Mitokado Homura in the face. If this is the case, what is their face as a senior consultant? All the elders and Mito advisors are serious. No matter what these elders and Mitokado Homura say, Sarutobi Hiruzen has the same attitude. Yuyu, he is in Baoding. 4 tails. On the side, Danzo's eyes were already shining, and the whole portrait saw the hungry jackal of the prey. He really didn't expect that in addition to 5 tails, 4 tails was actually brought back by Chimu Yu. 9 tails, now firmly master is in Sarutobi Hiruzen's hands. If you can get 4 tails and 5 tails, then you can become Naruto's bargaining chip and you can increase it further. Be sure to get 4 tails and 5 tails. Danzo's eyes were full of fierceness. He wants, at all costs. As for those resources, Danzo didn't care about it anymore. Compared with 4 tails and 5 tails, those resources are a shit. As long as you get 4 tails and 5 tails, you can not only get the bargaining chip to become Naruto, but also make Chimu Yu look good. At that time, use what Chimu Yu captured to kill Chimu Yu. Hoo, the images in his mind made Danzo breathe a lot more heavily. To Yu, Danzo hates him to his bones. He was born into a wealthy family since he was a child and became a disciple of second Hokage. Even if Naruto failed to compete with Sarutobi Hiruzen, but also gained a high position assisted by Naruto, becoming one of the Konoha 4. But the bastard Chimu Yu dared to beat and scold him again. The scar on Danzo's face sometimes hurts. Every time the scar hurts, Danzo hates Yu more. But what makes Danzo helpless is that Chimu Yuyu's strength is too terrifying. Compared to the original Konoha's White Fang, it is even more terrifying. And how old is Chimu Yu? If you let him continue to grow. Danzo remembered the name that scared him deep in his memory. Uchiha Madara. If you let Chimu Yu grow up, maybe there will be a horror like Uchiha Madara. Danzo, who lived in Uchiha Madara's time, knows exactly what the name means. And Chimu Yuyu's character makes Danzo very uneasy. In order to suppress White Fang, the fishing boat incident was created. In the end, Konoha's White Fang committed suicide, eliminating a major concern in the hearts of Danzo and the Konoha elders. The current Chimu Yuyu's achievements are even more dazzling than the original White Fang. It can be said that even if Chimu Yu is established as one of the successors of the next Hokage, no one can tell if one is not. This is an unacceptable result for Danzo and many Konoha elders. And thinking of Chimu Yuyu's character, Danzo felt all over, even a little scared. This bastard is just a bastard who slashes people if they don't agree. The first time I saw him, I was scolded and chopped down by him. And Utatane Kaharu's tragic situation today has once again proved how moody Chimu Yu is. A word was wrong, and Utatane Kaharu was beaten to death. A character with such a character, want to commit suicide through a fishing boat like White Fang? Don't be kidding me. Danzo can imagine the scene at that time. Chimu Yu will definitely carry a knife to cut all those who dare to speak bad things about him. Chimu Yu, but a person who can only listen to others praise him, not a bad word. If the bastard knew that he was secretly instructing people to spread the rumors, he would definitely carry a knife and chop himself along with the roots. If you want to deal with Chimu Yu, you must kill with one blow. Otherwise, they will be crushed violently. So Danzo at this time, although he hates Yu in his heart. But some didn't dare to attack Yu. But with 4 tails and 5 tails, it would be different. Coupled with the background that I have stored for many years, you will definitely be able to completely wipe out Chimu Yuyu's heartache by then. Then the day when I become Hokage is just around the corner. Thinking of this, where is Danzo still thinking about staying here? His eyes were flushed and he walked quickly towards the root base with his entourage. He now wants to calm down and plan well. Absolutely, get 4 tails and 5 tails. And just when the elders confronted Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Danzo was secretly thinking. Konoha village, Yuyu's home. Yuyu-kun, is this strength okay? You see you are thinner. The little red hands moved slowly on Yuyu's shoulders, helping Yu to relax some stiff muscles. There was a bit of distress in the red beautiful eyes. Yuyu, you are amazing. Lin on the side looked at Yu with admiration, peeling Yu fruit. Is next to a bottle of fine wine. Lin feeds Yu a piece of fruit and a sip of wine, a proper imperial treatment. Shizun's small face was full of seriousness, and the wave of medical chakra exuded in her hands, using her not-so-proficient medical ninjutsu to relax Yuyu's legs. Haha, those guys in Iwagakure, where are my opponents? Yuyu, who enjoys the treatment of the emperor, laughed, and while enjoying it, he told the women about his heroism on the battlefield. Several women exclaimed from time to time, and their pretty faces were full of admiration. Then what? Don't stop, that mother-in-law, come and press me too. As Yu spoke, he gestured to Tsunade next to him. Tsunade's pretty face twitched when he heard the words. This stinky kid will really enjoy it. Although I was spitting out in my heart, the movements in his hands were not slow, and the delicate wrist was attached to Yu. Oh. Suddenly, Yu let out a comfortable sigh. There was a smug look on Tsunade's pretty face. She is not comparable to these little girls. Huh, Yu, I'm coming too. Yuyu-kun, is it okay? Yes, Yu. Suddenly, several women also hurried forward. They, don't fall behind Tsunade-sama. Yeah, Yuyu-kun. Yuyu, bully. Yes, Yu. You. In the mind of comparison, the beauty of it is that you can't talk to outsiders. In the early morning, a ray of sunlight spilled into Yuyu's home through Yuyu's window. What? Yuyu yawned and stretched, looking lazy. I slept really well yesterday. Yuyu recalled yesterday's enjoyment. Yesterday, in the mind of the comparison, Yu could say that it should be touched, and that it should not be touched. They all came all over. But because the women are still young, Yu didn't rush to complete the last step. Cultivation is also a special pleasure. Yesterday it was about night. Hong and Lin also returned home because of the family's order. Tsunade also had a successful smile on her pretty face, and took the opportunity to pull Shizun away. Yuyu didn't stop it deliberately either. After all, except for the last step, the rest had already come all over. Yuyu has his own mind. But what the wife Tsunade said. Yuyu touched his chin and smashed his mouth. It is indeed a must in the world of Naruto. The touch is simply perfect. Tsunade, now in the most beautiful grade of a woman, everything has matured. But Yu did not rush for a while. After all, the shame of that day is still fresh in Yuyu's memory. You have to wait until your physique reaches the level of absolutely crushing Tsunade, and then you will be ashamed of blood. Let Tsunade fully understand his position in this family. Therefore, Yu did not rush for a while. Guys of Cloud Shinobi Village, wait for me. Yuyu grinned. He was in Minato, and he also heard some comments from Cloud Shinobi Village guys. It seems that he also called himself the cutest enemy. This makes Yu more and more looking forward to, when he steps on the Cloud Shinobi battlefield, will those guys in Cloud Shinobi Village line up to give him attribute points. This time, the gain is huge, Yu thought to himself. Although this time I went to the Rock Shinobi battlefield, I didn't get what I wanted most, a huge physique attribute point. But whether it is kendo comprehension or armament hockey, there has been considerable progress. Especially after hacking 4 tails and 5 tails, he was rewarded with the power of 6 paths, which gave Yu some surprises. System, open the properties panel. Ding. The properties panel is open. Master. Chimu Yu. Physique, quasi-cage level pinnacle. Chakra. Cage level. Kendo comprehension. The pinnacle of the swordsman, touching the threshold of the swordsman. Special. Shira sword intent. Armament hockey, penultimate. Observation hockey, ultimate. Conqueror's hockey, grandmaster. The power of 6 paths, 2/9. Swordsmanship. Dark demon god. Shinigami's sickle, extinct. Comprehensive strength. Cage level peak. Note. There are special bonuses when drunk. Compared with before stepping on the Rock Shinobi battlefield, Yuyu's strength has improved once again. Even in the normal state of not drinking, Yu Yu's strength has reached the peak of cage level, reaching the strongest point in the ninja world today. Although the physique point, in the rock shinobi battlefield did not get particularly many. However, it has also reached the level of quasi-shadow from being able to reach the pinnacle of quasi-shadow, and one step forward is a qualitative change. Chakra's progress is the most obvious. After hacking 4 tails and 5 tails, Yu has received huge chakra rewards. It broke through the cage level in one fell swoop. Although chakra is not very useful to Yu, chakra is a combination of physical strength and mental strength. The improvement of chakra can also be fed back to Yu itself under the effect of the system. The most notable feature is that armament hockey has reached the level of penultimate, that is the level of General Marine Admiral. Armament hockey that has reached this level, combined with Yu's swordsmanship, will have a terrifying attack power. As for observation hockey, who was promoted to the penultimate level early, this time finally got a qualitative improvement. Reached the ultimate level, that is, the level of card 2 in One Piece. Observation hockey. Launch. Yu's eyes suddenly flashed with a strange red glow. Under this red glow, everything seemed to be controlled by Yu. Yu took out a coin and tossed it towards the sky. The red light in his eyes reached a peak. Front. Yu said lightly, ding. The coin fell on the table, and as expected, the front side was facing Yu. Approximately, it can be predicted in about 2 seconds. Yu estimated the time it took for him to see the coin facing up just now, and secretly estimated. Ultimate observation hockey can predict the future for a short while. Just 2 seconds before the coin fell on the table, the result of the coin falling on the table appeared in Yu's mind. In other words, the current Yu, using observation hockey, can predict the future in 2 seconds. And as observation hockey continues to increase, this time will continue to increase. After owning ultimate observation hockey, Yu's strength can be greatly improved. This means that the enemy and Yu will fight. 2 seconds before the critical ninjutsu, Yu will be able to know exactly what the enemy is going to do. Why is the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan called the #1 bloodline in the ninja world? In addition to Uchiha Madara's fame, dynamic vision, which Sharingan is most proud of, is also one of the key factors. In the battle between ninjas, sometimes intelligence factors take the initiative. Sometimes a sudden attack can allow the ninjas to kill enemies that are stronger than their own strength. However, the dynamic vision of the Uchiha clan is so powerful that the Uchiha clan always anticipates the enemy. Even if the enemy has hidden dark hands, Sharingan's dynamic vision can catch them the fastest and react. But the dynamic vision that the Uchihas are proud of, in front of Yu Ultimate's observation hockey, is not even worthy of carrying shoes. Because what Sharingan sees is only a dynamic perspective. And what Yu controls is the real future. Great swordsman, it's a bit difficult. Yu looked at his kendo comprehension and thought to himself. Whether it is drinking or slashing people, kendo comprehension points can be obtained every time. But even so, it still didn't reach the level of a great swordsman. This is also related to the fact that after Yu is strong, the weaker can't get any attribute points. Now Yu, only people who are not much different from his own strength, are key characters in the original work, can get the reward of attribute points. However, Yu, who has reached the current level of swordsmanship, has clearly felt the threshold of a great swordsman. Just like a layer of window paper, you can become a great swordsman with just one bucket. Reaching the eagle eye level in the pirate world is just around the corner. I didn't expect that the old bastard who chopped Oimu would still have this kind of gain. Yu's gaze turned to the swordsmanship column. In addition to the dark sky demon god and Shinigami's sickle, a new swordsmanship appeared there. Swordsmanship annihilation. It can annihilate everything, turn it into nothingness. Note. Only with the power of Senluo Vientian can its maximum power be exerted. The introduction of swordsmanship appeared in Yu's mind. In the column of swordsmanship, those swordsmanship created by Yu, such as drawing a sword, and even using the Shira sword intent to issue the one sword style Ashura, are not eligible for the list. Any swordsmanship that can be on the list has unlimited potential and can burst out a terrifying swordsmanship that surpasses Yu itself by several times, or even dozens of times. And annihilation, being able to rank with the dark demon god and Shinigami's sickle, is the best proof. It seems that this reward can be triggered because of the use of the power of Sanluo Wanxiang. Yu thought carefully and came up with a possibility. The difficulty of obtaining profound swordsmanship is very exaggerated. Yu has only 3 profound swordsmanship with the addition of annihilation. Compared with the difficulty of Yu's 2 previous acquisitions of Upanishad swordsmanship, it is not too difficult to compare Yu's current strength by cutting onogi. Moreover, the final comment, that only the power of the all-encompassing world can exert the strongest power of annihilation, also proves this point. But this is the most interesting thing. Yu Yu's attention was attracted by the power of 6 paths. The power of 6 paths, 2/9, owner, in control of all phenomena. It can be the god of creation or the god of destruction. The power of 6 paths, the top power in the world of Naruto. After Uchiha Madara gained the full power of 6 paths in the original book, even Uzumaki Naruto, who has become the perfect Jinchuriki, and combined with Sage Mode, plus Uchiha Sasuke, who owns Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, is not Uchiha Madara's opponent. Only after receiving the power of 6 paths from Sage of 6 Paths, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke have the power to fight Uchiha Madara. Throughout the entire Naruto world, only the power of 6 paths can counter the power of 6 paths. The power of the 6 paths level exceeds the power of the Super Shadow level too much. As long as you have the full power of 6 paths, you can control everything in the world. The 9 big-tailed beasts were created by Sage of 6 Paths using the power of 6 paths to transform 10 tails chakra into 9 parts. The 9-tailed beast, although essentially only a part of 10 tails chakra, has actually become a special kind of life. This is the embodiment of the power of 6 paths as the god of creation. The power of 6 paths can also create a truth-seeking ball. Everything that is touched by the truth-seeking ball, as long as there is no resistance by the power of 6 paths, will disappear into nothingness. It can be said to be the advanced version of Chen Dun's power. This is the embodiment of the power of 6 paths as the god of destruction. Although Yu only cut 4 tails and 5 tails, only 2 of the power of 6 paths were obtained. But in the decisive battle with Iwagakure, I have already experienced the tip of the iceberg of the power of 6 paths. Senluo Vientiane's Storm of Swords uses the power of Senluo Vientiane to bless the slash. The slash that can only go straight in the past, can turn into an oval enchantment of sword energy. It is really incredible. This solved Yu Yu's big problem on the battlefield, that is, although the attack power of the slash is amazing, it can only destroy things in a straight line. Under the action of the power of the sun and all phenomena, slashing can have infinite possibilities. After possessing the power of 6 paths, Yu has once again added a powerful ability. Cloud Shinobi Village, there are also 2 tail beasts. Yu grinned and said, if he remembers correctly, Cloud Shinobi Village has the most powerful 8 tails besides 9 tails. There is also a second tail with magnet style. After slashing these 2 tail beasts, the power of 6 paths he owns can reach 4 points, which is about to exceed half. Cloud Shinobi Village not only has a huge physique attribute to light up to obtain it, but also the existence of 2 tail beasts. This makes Yu more and more looking forward to stepping onto the Cloud Shinobi battlefield. And with the newest swordsmanship of the Upanishad level, sacrificial knives are also needed. Cloud Shinobi Village is really a suitable object. But before that, I have to find the culprit who sent me to the Rock Shinobi battlefield, and have a good chat. At the corner of Yu's mouth, a sullen smile appeared. Picking up Chusui on the knife holder, he rushed out of the house. Konoha, Hokage Building, Hokage Office. Sarutobi Hiruzen is sitting in the main seat at this time, watching the report from the front. Although Konoha won a big victory in the Rock Shinobi battlefield, there is still a strong enemy of Cloud Shinobi Village. And according to the news from the Hyuga clan at the border of Mist Shinobi, Kirigakure also started to act. And Sanagakure, who had retired temporarily before, started to move around after it was repaired. The eventful autumn. Sarutobi Hiruzen was sighing, and suddenly his whole body trembled. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen, but still at the peak of the tail, has the strength of the peak of cage level. The awareness of the crisis can be said to be very keen. At this moment, he suddenly felt a very strong crisis coming towards him. Danger. In his mind, a big word, danger, filled his mind. Bang. Before Sarutobi Hiruzen could take any action, the door of the Naruto office was brutally knocked open and suddenly torn apart. And Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the door stiffly. Yu, I have something to say, so what? You put the knife down first. Konoha, Hokage Building, Hokage Office. At this moment, the door of the office where Konoha's supreme leader was located was torn apart. Known as Ninjutsu, the strongest Naruto, Doctor of Ninjutsu, and many other titles, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, who stood at the pinnacle of the ninja world, was looking at the door with a cold sweat at the moment, knocking the door of his office. The figure torn apart. Yes, Yu is here, there is something to say, so what? You put the knife down first, let's talk slowly if there is any misunderstanding. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the knife in Yu's hand, his face turned green. At this moment, as Yu Yu's reputation in the world of ninja became more and more popular, the reputation of the black knife in Yu Yu's hand became more and more famous. Black knife, autumn water. Under this knife, there are already countless souls. Just adding sand shinobi and rock shinobi together, more than 5,000 ninjas have become the dead souls of this black knife. And the strong people who died under the black sword autumn water are countless. The captain and deputy captain of Sand Shinobi Anbu, Rock Shinobi's top 5 elite Jonin Dongsaran, and countless Jonin have all become the dead souls of the black sword Chusui. And Sanagakure's elder Chiyo, Iwagakure's third Tsuchikage Onoki, was also nearly cut by the black sword Chusui, and was seriously injured. Even 4 tails and 5 tails, 2 big tail beasts, ate their hatred under this knife and were captured by Yu. It can be said that the prestige of this knife at this time has surpassed the knife used in Konoha's White Fang. It became Konoha's most prestigious knife in history. Yu comes to his office on weekdays, but he doesn't have a knife. Anyone who comes with a knife must be blackmailed. Bringing this autumn water here today, Yu is here to make trouble for yourself. Sarutobi Hiruzen remembered how he had fudged Yu to the Rock Shinobi battlefield, and his face was a bit stunned. This unscrupulous brat. Yesterday, this stinky boy scolded the elders and beat Udatane Kaharu into a coma.
I have carried it all down for him, and I wrangled with the elders for a long time yesterday.
Later, a warehouse was specially found for this stinky boy to store the fine wine he had taken. Originally, Sarutobi Hiruzen thought that after these things, this brat wouldn't care about himself. As a result, it was only the next day that the stinky boy came to his office with the knife. Pop. Old man, stop talking nonsense, you know what you did. Without saying a word, Yu stepped forward and slapped Chusui in his hand on Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk, staring sharply at Sarutobi Hiruzen's unconvinced face. Yu, I think there is some misunderstanding between us. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the autumn water in front of him, his face turned green. This knife severely injured his old opponent, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, and stunned. According to Iwagakure's Anbu, Onoki was still in a state of serious injury at this time. Both the right arm and the arm were cut off by Yu. And in the process of recovery, he spurted blood from time to time, and he was old and miserable. His old arms and legs can't stand Yu's toss. Although Yu can't really beat him up, but this stinky kid can definitely do it by cutting himself a few times. When Yu was in the ninja school, a guy named Uchiha Obito was cut down by Yu for a week. Although they were all minor injuries, as 3rd Hokage, if he was cut twice by this stinky boy, would it be too embarrassing?
Oh. Misunderstanding? Sarutobi Hiruzen originally had a firm face, but when Yu's red eyes were staring at him anyway, his face slowly became slanderous.
How do you feel that it's more stressful to stare at this stinky boy than to stare at Sharingan from the Uchiha clan? Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little puzzled.
Papa, don't be long-winded, you fool me. Iwagakure's bastards are stronger than Cloud Shinobi Village bastards. How to solve this problem? Yu slapped Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk and said angrily. Didn't I find you a wine storage, library?
Sarutobi Hiruzen gave a dry cough and said slowly, but the more he said it, the less emboldened.
Old man. I chopped 3,000 rock shinobi for you, even 4 tails, 5 tails I caught you back. The old bastard Onoki is still lying in the hospital.
A broken warehouse, just want to buy me? Where's the face? Yu cursed. All the saliva spurted on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face.
In the end, Yu rolled up his sleeves, banged Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk, and yelled. There was not even a repeated word, and he cursed for 10 minutes. Sarutobi Hiruzen was sprayed with saliva and the corners of his mouth twitched. Following Yu's curse, Sarutobi Hiruzen's entire face twitched. But being scolded by Yu, he couldn't speak up at all.
Indeed, as Yu said, Yu's feats in Sand Shinobi and Rock Shinobi have not been able to surpass Yu since the establishment of Konoha village. Even in the Second Ninja World War, Konoha's White Fang, who was Konoha's decisive force, was far worse.
As for the 3 disciples he taught, the legendary Sannin, by the ninja world, it is possible that the Second Ninja War and the Third Ninja War can barely compare with Yu after all the achievements of the war are added together.
This is also because of Tsunade's Ninjutsu No. 1 Medical Ninjutsu bonus.
If it's a single round of feats on the battlefield, Yu is definitely the first person Konoha has ever made.
In the Second Ninja War, Konoha, Rock Shinobi, Sand Shinobi and Rain Shinobi village participated. And in the beginning, it was a melee between Konoha, Rock Shinobi, Sand Shinobi and Rain Shinobi village. Konoha's pressure can only be said to be average. Even so, in the Second Ninja World War, the number of ninja casualties of Konoha reached as many as thousands. In the end, due to lack of troops, even some of the genin who had just graduated were dragged to the battlefield and suffered heavy losses. And this time the Third Ninja War, it was still in a melee at the beginning, but when the big ninja villages reached an agreement, Konoha confronted Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi. The last Kirigakure was also ready to move. Konoha had to send the Uchiha and Hyuga clan to the border of Mist Shinobi to guard against Kirigakure's possible attack. On the frontal battlefield, Konoha has to deal with the three shinobi, Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi at the same time. Even with Konoha's strong background, there may be danger of overturning at any time. But Uyu, at the beginning of the war, went deep into the hinterland of Sanagakure with his own power. With one's own power, defeat Sanagakure, killing the captain of Sand Shinobi Anbu, the deputy captain, almost completely wiped out Sanagakure's sharpest sword. The elder Chiyo who came to support was also severely injured by Uyu, and Sand Shinobi suffered thousands of casualties. In the end, Sanagakure was cut in half with a single knife, and even Sanagakure's most proud Tianshin was cut into two by Uyu. In the end, Sanagakure was forced to retreat, temporarily ending the war with Konoha. And in the just-ended war with Iwagakure, Uyu is even more terrifying. The beheaded Rock Shinobi alone has reached more than 4,000. Even Jonin, Iwagakure's most famous elite, died at the hands of Uyu. Well-known Jonin, such as Magic Leeches and Dashi, were also beheaded by Uyu. Almost half of Iwagakure's Jonin reserves over the years have died at the hands of Uyu. The most shocking thing is that Iwagakure's two war machines, 4 Tails and 5 Tails Jinchuriki, who have made countless battles for Iwagakure, were all captured by Uyu. And standing at the pinnacle of the ninja world like himself, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki was also seriously injured in Uyu's hands. Looking at his injury, it is almost impossible to restore his previous peak strength. After the decisive battle, Uyu directly hit the door of Iwagakure's house, using absolute force to force Iwagakure to take final measures. Let the Daiming Mansion of the Land issue a mediation agreement with the Daiming Mansion of the Land of Fire. This can be said to be Konoha's unique and complete victory over one of the 5 hidden villages since the establishment of the Shinobu system. With these achievements, it is more than enough to make Uyu a candidate for the next generation of Naruto. Even if it weren't for the age factor, the next generation of Naruto candidates would be Uyu. But Uyu has no interest in power at all, but has always upheld a heart like heart, only interested in hacking people and drinking. As Sarutobi Hiruzen thought about it, the corner of his mouth twitched. He always feels something is wrong, but he doesn't know where to start complaining. Uyu, take a sip of water. I know you made a great contribution, and I shouldn't lie to you, but you have to know that the situation was extremely critical at the time, and only Mimura Hamaki was the only one on the battlefield of Iwagakure. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Uyu as if tired from scolding, and handed a glass of water, with a bitter face, as if there was a huge unspeakable concealment, he said slowly. But as he was talking, he saw the expression of "Diaresis, you lied to ghosts" on Uyu's face, and the corners of his mouth twitched, and he couldn't speak anymore. This stinky boy, I really don't get in with oil and salt. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt helpless. But Uyu, especially Sarutobi Hiruzen, still remembers that when he gave this stinky boy the will of fire, the stinky boy fell asleep. And what makes Sarutobi Hiruzen most uncomfortable is that the eloquence of this stinky boy is better than himself. I can't even say that this brat. Don't talk nonsense, talk about how to solve it. Otherwise, I will live in your house today and you will have to take care of my food in the future. Uyu said angrily. When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard this, his face turned green. How dare he let Uyu go to his house? This stinky boy went to his house. Every time he was like a bandit, he finally saved some wine, and every time he took it with him. By the way, his son Asuma has become Uyu's spy, and he is simply impossible to guard against. And what if this brat goes to his house with anger and gets drunk and goes crazy? Then he can't demolish all the ancestral homes of his Sarutobi clan? You say the conditions. Sarutobi Hiruzen has made up his mind and absolutely can't let Uyu go to his house, and said as if he was fate. Last time, the special wine from the Daiming Mansion of the Country of Fire, give me 180 bottles first. Wait. How much? Before Uyu finished speaking, Sarutobi Hiruzen interrupted with a toothache. How much? 180 bottles. In particular, Sarutobi Hiruzen has been Hokage for decades, and there are not 100 bottles of the kind of jelly distributed. Last time I managed to save a little bit, but I directly asked Uyu to make dumplings and serve them all in one pot. This stinky boy let Z go where he can get 180 bottles of special wine. Look at the way you haven't seen the world, isn't it just 180 bottles of wine? Yu said with a look of contempt. Yu, do you know how precious that wine is? Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched and said, listen, this is too much hockey. That is the special jelly provided by the Daming Mansion of the Country of Fire. On average, the annual production volume is only a few dozen bottles. I haven't seen the world before. Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't believe it. Yu has seen this kind of wine besides the last time I robbed myself. You are the one who has never seen the world. Sarutobi Hiruzen scolded in his heart, and immediately felt that his heart was much better. Look at how poor yours is. It's different from Oyimu. This time, I searched dozens of bottles from his house, which is more than yours. Yu said with a look of contempt. This old man is simply too poor. When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard this, he almost bit off his tongue. Then, looking at the ceiling with a look of lovelessness. Why did he forget this? Yu, the stinky kid, went straight to Iwagakure. With the character of this brat, that would surely search the office of Onoki and Tsuchikage. After all, Yu is already too proficient in this negative business. Sarutobi Hiruzen thought about why Yu was so proficient, and burst into tears, feeling extremely sad. It's fine for this stinky kid to snatch his own things, and despise himself. This time I really can't stand the village. You must embody the majesty of being a Hokage and an elder. Yu. Chong. Sarutobi Hiruzen had a serious face, and just as he was about to show his majesty as Hokage and the elder, a piercing sound of a knife sounded. I saw Chu Shui's sword out of its sheath about an inch, and Yu's right hand was frosted with Chu Shui, quietly looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen, with an expression of continue your performance. This is a threat. The threat of Chiguoguo. The corners of Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched fiercely. This stinky boy dared to threaten himself. As Naruto, Sarutobi Hiruzen can bear it. Yu, don't dance knives and guns, I'm so old that I can't stand this. Sarutobi Hiruzen took out a bottle of good wine from under the desk, handed it to Yu, and said from his heart. I don't care about little drunks. I'm Hokage, decent. Sarutobi Hiruzen kept comforting herself in her heart. Huh. That's not right, old man. Lake Biwa, I think I'm a lot younger, you see. Enough. When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard this, his face turned green. Isn't this what I told Bawako the other day in a whisper? How did you find out about this brat, Yu? Asuma. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes flashed fiercely, and his facial features were distorted. This unfilial son. Even the whispers of Laozi and his old mother were revealed to Yu. If you let Yu speak out, do you want his Hokage's face anymore? Yu, he can't beat it, he can't talk. But little Asuma. At the moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen has simulated 15 moves to beat Asuma tonight. Huh? The material is not fierce enough. Then. I promised. I'll help you go to the Daming Mansion in the Land of Fire to ask for that kind of wine, but I'm not sure how much I can get. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Yu vomit more violently, his old face flushed, and he hurriedly stopped. He has been staying up late recently, and his heart is a little uncomfortable. Let Yu explode some more fierce materials. Sarutobi Hiruzen is really afraid that his heart can't stand it. It would be nice if you didn't say that earlier, old man. If you don't have more than 30 bottles, just wait for your deeds to spread by word of mouth. Yu estimated it and gave a number. Got it. When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard the words, the corners of his mouth twitched, and he agreed. Although the difficulty is very high, but this time the Daming Mansion of the Land issued a mediation agreement to the Daming Mansion of the Fire Nation, which can be said to have made the Daming Mansion of the Fire Nation gain a lot of face. And the Daming Mansion of the Land must have made some compromises, so the Daming Mansion of the Land of Fire will mediate with Konoha Village. This is the first time since the establishment of the Shinobu system. According to what Sarutobi Hiruzen knows, this time the Daming Mansion of the Land of Fire is the same as the Chinese New Year from top to bottom, and even 3 days of banquets are required to celebrate this moment. And the name of Yu, the one with the greatest credit, also resounded throughout the Country of Fire. The name of the Country of Fire can be said to admire Yu again and again. At this time, in the name of Yu, it was not difficult to ask for some jelly. It's this amount. If you have 30 bottles, you can soak it softly and hard, and it should be. You can also grind it down. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt a bit of toothache when he thought of this amount. This stinky boy said lightly in a word, he had to send all his old bones. Yu, I agree to this, you can put away the knife. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Yu and said with a headache. This is Hokage's office. This stinky boy threatened himself with a knife. If someone sees him, wouldn't he be ruthless? Although, this is not the first time. Chong. Haha. I know Naruto-sama is the strongest. Yu Yu pinned Chusui to his waist, slapped Sarutobi Hiruzen with a black line on his shoulder and laughed. I believe in your evil. Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched. Don't look at it now. Yu takes a mouthful of Hokage-sama. If you can't get the 30 bottles of jelly to Yu will cross the river and demolish the bridge faster than anyone else. You have been working hard these days. Let's take a break in the back. After playing around with Yu, Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a warm smile on the corner of his mouth. Although Yu verbally doesn't respect him much. But Sarutobi Hiruzen actually enjoys getting along with Yu. Regarding when I grew up, I even took the name Yu by myself. Although I have caused a lot of trouble for myself, Sarutobi Hiruzen is still willing to give Yu platform unconditionally. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen knows in his heart that if others want Yu to help, they are really dreaming. Among other things, Konoha's families who use swordsmanship hope that Yu will give some advice from their family, and even pay a lot of money in reward. Some families know that Yu is good wine, and tell Yu that they have some thin wines in their home, and hope Yu can enjoy them. Unsurprisingly, they were all rejected mercilessly by Yu. Yu, kiss yourself. Otherwise, how can you grab the most from your own wine? Obviously you have a good relationship with yourself. Moreover, Yu doesn't give any face to anyone, but some things that you ask Yu to do, such as the original Chunin exam, and today's Ninja Wars, Yu has nothing to say. It was done extremely well. Although there are some conditions, but still the same sentence, why doesn't Yu make conditions with others, but with yourself? Obviously Yu still has a good relationship with yourself. The corners of Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth curled up slightly. Bang. With a loud noise, Sarutobi Hiruzen was shocked and looked at Yu with a black line on his face. Take a break? Take a break. I'm going to find the white-haired bastard Jiraiya to settle accounts. There is also the snake-playing bastard. As the commander-in-chief of Cloud Shinobi Village, he knows that the physique of Cloud Shinobi is better than those of Rock Shinobi, so he didn't tell me. I'm going to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield to chop off those two bastards. Yu slapped Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk with a bang, and said angrily. When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard the words, the corners of his mouth twitched, a black line on his face. When you say this, do you dare to let you go to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield? Feelings. If you go to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield, the first thing is not to cut Cloud Shinobi, but to cut Konoha's commander-in-chief and deputy commander on the front line of Cloud Shinobi, and his two disciples, Konoha's Sanin, up. Think about it. When Yu goes to the front line of Cloud Shinobi, chasing Jiraiya and Orochimaru, what kind of cruel picture is that? Although Jiraiya and Orochimaru are strong, they are a lot worse than the combination of Onoki and Five Tails. Even Oyemu and Five Tails were all chopped down by Yu, and his two disciples were in front of Yu, and they were simply giving away food. Even if Yu's men are merciful, it will inevitably suffer some flesh and blood pains. Maybe you have to be carried back to Konoha. Yu, I will help you teach those two guys. You can take a break in the back first, paid. Sarutobi Hiruzen thought of the scene where Jiraiya and Orochimaru were carried back to Konoha, and he was shocked and persuaded. Don't worry, the old man. After I chop off those two bastards, I will chop off all the bastards in Cloud Shinobi Village, so that you have no worries. Yu grinned with a, I understand you, expression. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt that his face was distorted. Is this problem that I am worried about? If you were to chop off Jiraiya and Orochimaru, Konoha would become a joke in the ninja world. The commander-in-chief and deputy commanders of the Konoha frontline, Orochimaru and Jiraiya, one of the Sanin, because of deceiving and underreporting Konoha Seiki Yu, Cloud Shinobi's physique is stronger than Rock Shinobi's intelligence, which led to the fact that it was cut by Seiki Yu. This is simply a disaster. As soon as he thought of that scene, Sarutobi Hiruzen trembled, and his brain started to spin frantically. He felt that his two disciples could still be rescued. By the way, Yu, didn't you promise to accept a disciple? Uzu Chinkong's daughter. Suddenly, Sarutobi Hiruzen flashed in his mind and said with a smile on his face. Accept disciples. This is a good thing. Teaching a disciple is not an easy task. Thinking of him, Sarutobi Hiruzen, in order to teach the three of Tsunade, it was really a lot of hard work, and it took more than 10 years. Coupled with their talents, Konoha's title of Sanin was achieved. Although Yu has a terrifying talent, teaching his disciples is definitely a process of slow work and careful work. During the time when Yu teaches his disciples, Orochimaru and Jiraiya must be ready. Especially Orochimaru, he didn't even know that Yu had put him in a note. Seeing Jiraiya in a hurry, she is still gloating. If you run into Yu unpreparedly, you will have to peel off your skin if you don't die. Disciple. Yu frowned, thinking for a long time but didn't remember which Uzu Chinkon was. Her daughter, the one named Maue Shion. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a black line on his face. You forgot too soon, quickly reminded. I remember, but when did I say that I would accept her as a disciple? What I always said was teaching 2 tricks. Yu heard this familiar name, clapped his hands, and said. Then go after teaching, your business is the most important. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with an expression that I thought about you. The time to teach 2 tricks is better than nothing. No, I took it directly to the battlefield to teach. It just so happened that I still lacked a pourer on the battlefield. Yu waved his hand and said. You can't wait to settle accounts with Jiraiya and Orochimaru. Those 2 bastards, they didn't look for them during this period of time, and they seem to have forgotten the lessons they had originally. I dare to deceive myself, and I absolutely want to chop them down. That. Huh? Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to say something, but suddenly closed his mouth under Yu's death gaze. Yu, it's a good journey, but I think you can take Tsunade with you, and she can also drink with you to relieve boredom. Sarutobi Hiruzen suggested. Since Yu can't be stopped, I can only think of something in the aftermath. If Tsunade also goes, as long as Jiraiya and Orochimaru still breathe, they can be rescued. Well, it makes sense. Upon hearing this, Yu nodded and agreed with this point of view. Old man, where does Izuki Yuyan live? I'll pick her up, and then go to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield. There was a red light in Yu's eyes. There are too many people who need to cut it out by themselves. In addition to the 2 bastards who dare to deceive themselves, there are also Cloud Shinobi's group of physical points, and the 6 paths power of the 2 tail beasts waiting to be acquired by themselves. I heard that 3rd Raikage is known as the strongest body in the ninja world? Very good. I just got a new swordsmanship, and I will use you to sacrifice the sword when that time comes. The address is to live in. Sarutobi Hiruzen said helplessly. Well, old man, I'm leaving now. After Yu wrote down the address, he didn't bother to return from the same way. He looked aside at Sarutobi Hiruzen's favorite French window, and a nasty smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Wait. Sarutobi Hiruzen was shocked at once, but he hadn't waited for him to finish. Wow. Bang. Yu directly slammed into a hole and knocked out a hole in the French window of the Hokage office. The figure moved and disappeared. Hoo, a breeze blew through Sarutobi Hiruzen's stiff complexion. Sarutobi Hiruzen's neck twisted mechanically, and he looked to the side of the hole Yu crashed into. There was a window wide enough for 2 Yu to get in and out. Yu. Sarutobi Hiruzen let out a roar from the depths of his soul. This brat. Even if you have to walk through the window, isn't it right next to it? Have to smash your favorite French window. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the debris all over the floor with a distressed expression. Sarutobi Hiruzen's favorite thing on weekdays is to look at the bustling Konoha village outside through this floor-to-ceiling window. But now, the floor-to-ceiling window that I love the most has been hit to pieces by Yu. Her character, vengeful brat. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a heartache on his face. This brat is definitely on purpose. Revenge yourself for deceiving him, Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi. Now Sarutobi Hiruzen, I just want Yu to leave. Otherwise, I don't know how to toss myself. As for his disciples Orochimaru and Jiraiya, then you can only ask for more blessings. I have tried my best. On the streets of Konoha. Yu hummed an unknown tune from the previous life, holding the wine from Sarutobi Hiruzen in his hand, and drank it from time to time, with a look of bad taste. The old man has been heartache for a few days now, right? Yu drank a sip of wine, thinking a little bit nasty. Yes, I did it deliberately. Does the old man think his things are so easy to take? Yu has read the list that the old man gave to Iwagakure, and there are many things on it. But Yu didn't stop this, but let the old man get what he wanted. After all, I have bullied the old man so many times before, and I have to give the old man something, sweet isn't it? Otherwise, the old man is always angry, and he is really angry. Who will he bully in the future? Besides, if you take these things and bully the old man yourself later, isn't it more at ease? But that's how it was said. The old man's favorite floor-to-ceiling window still had to hit. Thinking of breaking through the old man's floor-to-ceiling windows and seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen's face through observation hockey, Yu felt extremely comfortable and took 2 more sips. Well, this is it, right? Yu walked to a house at the address given by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Boom. Anyone? The Azuki clan, a small family that uses swordsmanship as Konoha, is not very prominent in Konoha. It is a very humble little family. Father, can I really learn swordsmanship with you, Yu-sama? In the yard, a girl with purple hair, although she is still young, can already see the beauty of the future, is practicing with a shinobi sword. Halfway through her cultivation, Mao Yue-shien's pretty face flushed, with a look of admiration on her face, and asked again. It's true, Lord Yu said it himself. Seeing Mao Yu-shien, who makes herself proud and has a cool personality, is so excited, but Mao Yu-chinkong is full of smiles, not impatient. In fact, since my daughter learned of the news, she has not slept in excitement all night. Just the same question, Mao Yu-shien has already asked how many times. But every time Yue-chinkong was not impatient, she understood her daughter's excitement very well. After all, that is Master Chimu Yu, known as the greatest genius since Konoha was founded. Known for his terrifying swordsmanship in ninja world, before, Lord Chimu Yu has been regarded as the next Konoha's White Fangfang. But after the start of the Third Ninja World War, the ninja world was shocked to discover. Chimu Yu-sama, where is the next Konoha's White Fang? Obviously more terrifying than Konoha's White Fang. With a wave of his hand, it is a terrifying slash that is comparable to S-grade ninjutsu. And shooting with all his strength is even more terrifying. Even the tailed beast bomb, the ultimate trick of the tailed beast bomb, known as the war machine, can be slashed head-on. The power is far superior to tailed beast bomb. One blow cut Sanagakure in half, and Sand Shinobi suffered numerous casualties. Even the Captain Anbu and the Deputy Captain of Sanagakure were killed by Yu Saiga. One of the pillars of Sanagakure, the Elder Chiyo, known as the First Puppet Master, was also seriously injured and dying. So far, there are doubts about whether he wakes up or not. It's the well-deserved #1, killing god, in the ninja world. Originally known as Shocking Ninja World, Konoha's White Fang was invincible in the Second Ninja World War, but there is no such ability. Konoha's White Fang also went deep into Sanagakure, and also beheaded Chiyo's son. But compared with Master Chimu Yu's handwriting, it's not worth mentioning. And these, just what Mao Yu-chinkong had heard, had already shocked him immensely. And this time, Azuki Aozora himself participated in the battle with Iwagakure, which made Azuki Aozora witness the power of Yu-sama Saiga with his own eyes, and was shocked. In the decisive battle, more than 3,000 rock shinobi were buried with a single blow. Even Jonin, one of the top 5 elites in Iwagakure, who is well known in the ninja world, died under the sword of Master Chimu Yu. That piece of swordsmanship barrier made up of countless sword auras has shocked Uzu Chinkong, who has practiced family swordsmanship since he was a child. But this is far from over. Later, when Lord Seiki Yu faced the terrifying combination of Third Tsuchikage Onoki and 5 tails, he slashed a terrifying blow. A black slash over a kilometer, like a miracle. With one blow, Onoki and 5 tails were completely defeated, cut the battlefield into 2. That scene has made Mao Yu-chinkong unforgettable so far. This is beyond the scope of manpower, after all, even the tail beasts known as war weapons were captured by Chimu Yu. Lord Yu is the most terrifying war machine. To be able to let such a great powerhouse teach his daughter, let alone Shi Yan, even Mao Yu-chinkong, who experienced it personally, doubted that he was dreaming. Father, you were telling me about Master Yu's performance on the battlefield. At this time, the always cold-tempered Mao Yue-shien acted like a fangirl, her pretty face flushed with excitement, and she said admiringly. Then I'm telling you. Boom. Anyone? Just when Azuki Aozora was about to tell his daughter about the heroic deeds of Master Yu again, a knock on the door and a shout sounded. This voice is. Hearing this somewhat familiar voice, Mao Yu-chinkong's figure trembled, with an incredible expression on her face. Although I have only heard a few words, the words praised by that adult at the time often make Yu-chinkong recall and be proud of it. Although praised, is his ability to get wine. Mao Yu-chinkong suppressed the excitement in his heart forcibly. Because of good luck at the beginning, he got the most fine wine, and was fortunate to be not far from the adult on the way back. Naturally know that the adult is a quick-witted person. Dao Yue-chinkong, who didn't dare to be indifferent, hurriedly pulled her daughter and ran towards the gate. Father? Mao Yue-shien's pretty face was full of doubts, and she didn't understand why her father suddenly went so awkward. Crack. The excited Mao Yue-chinkong didn't even answer her daughter's doubts. She quickly sorted her clothes and her daughter's messy purple hair. With a worried expression on her face, she opened the door. Yes, 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 Lord Yu. Mao Yue Xian saw the handsome face she had dreamed of last night, and she was immediately stunned and exclaimed. It's so rude, Shi Yan. Master Yu, please forgive the little girl's impoliteness. The little girl also idolizes Master Yu's prestige so much that she is so excited. Mao Yu Qingkong was startled by her daughter's exclamation. Lord Yu, not a good-tempered person. On the way back, Uzu Qingkong witnessed the process of Master Yu teaching 4 taels Jinchuriki Lao Zi and 5 taels Jinchuriki Han. It was really a scene where the listener shed tears and was extremely cruel. As long as one sentence is wrong, Master Yu's scabbard will be drawn to them fiercely. Old Zi and Han. That is also a terrifying powerhouse who is well known in the ninja world and known as the War Machine. The screams of being beaten by Yu-Sama were as good as a rabbit. If your daughter irritates Yu-Sama. Mao Yu Qingkong quickly knelt down and sat down and bowed a big gift. Why are you so scared? Am I so fierce? Who doesn't Kono know that I am the kindest person? Yu looked at Mao Yu Qingkong so scared, scratching his cheek, a little puzzled. Yes, Yu-Sama, you are the most kind. Hearing this, Mao Yu Qingkong quickly agreed, but lowered his head lower. Because he was afraid that Master Yu would see his twitching expression. Kona Hiseki, Yu-Sama, kind, say this, Sanagakure and Iwagakure's coffin panels can't cover it. That incomparably brutal and bloody method has created Shimu Yu's reputation as the #1 killer in the ninja world today. In today's ninja world, in terms of killing the most powerful ninja, Master Yu dares to say second, then no one dares to say first. Yu-Sama, who is so cruel, thinks that he is very kind. Uyue Qingkong thought of the scene where Yu-Sama drew old Zi and Han to death when he didn't agree with him, and his expression was cold and sweaty. Well, you are Xian, right? Want to learn from me? Yu looked at the excited purple-haired girl, and looked at her pretty face, and she was in a good mood. Teaching such a little beauty, and still the famous little beauty in the original book, is better than teaching the uncle Yu Qingkong, right? Yes, Lord Yu, can I really do it? I want to. When Azuki Yuyan heard Yu's words, she fainted with excitement. For Yu, the greatest genius in Konoha's history, he is also a peerless genius who is known for his swordsmanship in the ninja world, and Azuki Yuyan, who was born in the swordsman family, can be said to be an incomparable worship. It's no exaggeration to say that she is Yu's little fan. Now, her idol appeared in front of her, and she had to teach herself swordsmanship. Uzu Xian passed out without excitement, thanks to her always somewhat cold temperament. If you like, come with me now. Hearing this, Yu nodded in satisfaction, and embraced Mao Yu Xian's exclamation. Yes, Lord Yu. Uzu Xian's beautiful eyes became rippled, and there was a circle of heat on her head, as if she would faint at any time. I'll take your daughter away. I'll take her to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield to teach, do you have any comments? At this time, Yu grinned at Azuki Qingkong in a gesture of robbing the girl. Of course there is no problem. It is her blessing that the little girl can follow Master Yu. Can you ask Master Yu to wait a while and go down and pack the little girl's luggage? Uyue Qingkong had an excited expression, as if wishing his daughter would be captured by Yu. Is there any luggage? Yu stopped Yue Xian, who was already a little paralyzed. With a soft body, frowning. Uyue Qingkong's words also reminded Yu. It seems that I haven't packed my luggage yet. At least some fine wines must be carefully selected to bring. On the Tsunade side, it is estimated that luggage is indispensable. But Yu, I hate carrying luggage the most. With so many things, it is impossible for Azuki Xian to take it. And on the battlefield, I have to slash the 3 bastards' 8 tails, our way and 3rd rakeage, Azuki Yuyan's safety issue. Yes. Suddenly, Yu's eyes lit up. You pack first, I'll bring Xian to pick up the luggage later. Wow. Yu dropped a word, flashed back, and disappeared in place. In the same place, Mao Yue Qingkong was excited to pack up Mao Yue Xian's luggage. Wow. Yu stopped Mao Yue Xian and turned into an afterimage, beating quickly on the house. Yes, Master Yu, where are we going? Mao Yue Xian was blushing, her brain was still lacking oxygen at this time. She seems to be taken away from her home by her idol, Chimu Yu-Sama. Although, she is not unwilling, but is this a bit too fast? However, my father did not disagree, as this the legendary. Uzu Xian fell into a strange nostalgia. Boom. Well. Yu gave Azuki Xian, who had fallen into a strange fantasy, his brain collapsed and made him let out an exclamation. What are you thinking about? Yu Yu rubbed Mao Yue Xian's purple hair fiercely, and Mao Yue Xian's face was flushed, and water dripped from her beautiful eyes. We have to make some preparations before we go to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield. Let's find a coolie, cough, let's find a bodyguard for you. Yu Yu said inadvertently and said with a dry cough. Well, Uzu Xian was moved suddenly. Unexpectedly, the legendary Lord Yu is not only powerful, but also so delicate in mind. She also considered her safety. Master Yu, I don't need a bodyguard. Even on the battlefield, I won't be ashamed of you. Yue Xian immediately raised his fighting spirit, and said firmly. No, you don't need a bodyguard, I also need a coolie to carry luggage. Yu Yu looked at Azuki Yuyan's cute and dumb expression, and said secretly. Arrive. Yu Yu grinned as he looked at the building that appeared in front of him. Enter.